It's October on the calendar, everyone, but it doesn't quite feel entirely like fall. In fact, if today's temperature and the forecast for the next few days in Salem are any indication at all, summer is still desperately trying to hang on up here in the great Northwest. Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in today for game number 4 of Willamette football in 2024. Alongside Charlie McGuire, I'm Jeff Lucero. Happy to be here with you for the live broadcast from McCulloch Stadium tonight. This happy hour edition of Northwest Conference football pits the Bearcats against the Linfield Wildcats. How about this? A late afternoon / early evening kickoff for once. This is the first 4 o'clock kickoff we've seen at McCulloch Stadium dating back to 2021. By the time we're all done with this one, it'll be dark out here tonight. So we'll talk matchups here in a bit, but first let's talk about the Bearcats. And they come into today's game having polished off the non-league portion of their schedule for 2024. For the second time in 3 years, they will enter Northwest Conference play with a record of 2-1. How'd they get there? Well, first they opened the season here at home by knocking off Laverne for the 3rd year in a row. This one coming in double overtime, 27-24. And last week, they notched victory number 2 of the Eric Williams era with a thrilling come-from-behind squeaker against Simpson, 21-18. Wedged in between those 2 big wins, a non-conference loss, albeit against a familiar league foe, George Fox on the road up in Newburgh, followed by the bye week that preceded last week's win here in Salem. And back to that game last week. Well, it sure wasn't the prettiest of victories, but first-year head coach Eric Williams and his staff and players will still very gladly take it, even if it indicated some areas of improvement for this team. It was a game in which the Bearcats had possession of the football for just 19 minutes. They amassed only 231 yards of total offense while turning the ball over 3 times. Those are not the roads you typically want to travel down when you're trying your darndest to win a game, but through it all, this team did exactly that. Quarterback Alex Rivera, and folks, he'd be the first to tell you himself, had what was by most accounts a frustrating, even forgettable game. That is, with the exceptions of when it mattered most in the closing moments of the first half, and then when it mattered the very most at the very end of the second half. It was in those 2 massive spots that Alex Rivera summoned something not just special, but virtually transcendent, leading the offense down the field for its 2 best drives of the day, culminating with a go-ahead touchdown pass that he threw to wideout Trajan Clark with just 32 seconds left in the game to give Willamette not only its first and only lead of the day, but an utterly wild, almost unbelievable come-from-behind victory. Let's now bring Charlie McGuire into the broadcast. And Charlie, if you asked Alex Rivera what he thought of his performance last week, he would give himself a very tough grade. In fact, head coach Eric Williams even shared with me this week that Rivera was pretty down on himself after that game, even though they had just won the game. However, with the game on the brink, he saved his very best for last, marching his teammates down the field for an entirely unreal, almost storybook finish. He got it done when his team needed him the very most.
Absolutely. And, he excuse me as I come on it, he really didn't have a horrible game. It was the defense. Both defenses last week played really, really well. Willamette did a nice job holding Simpson, who everybody came in thinking, oh, they're a new program. What are we going to see? We saw some good things, but Rivera, they moved the ball pretty well. They just couldn't get in the end zone. But that last drive, unbelievable. Even at the end of the first half, they did the same thing. So maybe we'll see more of a little 2-minute kind of drill offense throughout the game as the Bearcats move the ball quickly, and when you don't have to think about it, just get up there and go. And that last drive, he made a couple of huge passes. The touchdown to Trajan Clark was unbelievable. Put it right in the corner of the end zone. That's the only place he could have come in and got it. And then on the crucial 2-point conversion to give him a 3-point lead, make it a field goal in the final seconds, Clark again, same play almost, went in, pushed out, and cut to the corner and got the 2-point conversion. And the Bearcats come out with the win. 2 exciting wins.
In the air. Here's the coin. The Northwest Conference logo represents heads. Opposite side is tails. There's heads. There's tails. What is your choice? Tails. Tails is the call. Willamette, you have 1. You choose to defer. You want the ball. Which direction would you like to kick? Switch sides. Willamette has won the coin toss and will defer to the second half. Gentlemen, have a great game.
Well, there you have it. The Bearcats deferring to the second half, so Linfield will get the ball first here once the game gets underway. But yeah, Charlie, let's go back to those two drives. You know, it's an interesting thing. You do the splits on Alex Rivera on those two drives. Again, the first that ended the first half, the second that ended the game effectively. He was 8 for 10 for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, on that first drive and second drive. And we will step aside now for the national anthem. Efficiency here at McCulloch Stadium. They went straight from the announcement of the toss right into the anthem. All right. So, yes, just to put a bow on that point, Alex Rivera, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns on 8 of 10 passing on the drive to end the first half and the second half combined. The rest of the game, just 3 for 10 passing for 8 yards and 2 interceptions. But, man, he was absolutely clutch, just cold-blooded and smooth, and he looked so composed the whole time. Never got rattled, never looked shook back there at all, just marched his team calmly and coolly down the field to get the Bearcats win number 2 on the season.
And that's what Eric Williams said about the team in general. They don't get rattled. In the Laverne game, same thing. Kind of a little battle back and forth, just stay to the game plan. And what surprised me is how much they ran the ball in those 2-minute drives with Herrera trying to get, a breakthrough, but also keeping the defense honest. And that's what opened up the passing lanes for Rivera to hit those receivers and then close things out with a great finish to Clark at the end and a phenomenal catch. And then a great move on the 2-point conversion. They ran the same play against the same cornerback, and he stepped in like, oh, he's not going to do the same thing, but he did, and was wide open for the 2-point conversion, and that led to that Willamette victory. As we're ready to kick off,
Bearcats and Wildcats set to do battle here. 4 o'clock kickoff this evening. Thank you so much for joining us for Happy Hour Football. Both teams with identical 2-1 records on the season. We'll tell you a little bit more about Linfield. We'll get our first look here in just a moment. In the meantime, kickoff is away. We're underway. Ball fielded at about the 14-yard line on the far side of the field. Hurdling one tackler and finally taken down just shy of the 35-yard line. That's where Linfield will set up. Again, Linfield comes in today 2-1 on the start to their season. Their only loss coming on the road in a battle of nationally ranked teams against Wisconsin Oshkosh. They're coming off the bye week as well. Is this Linfield program. We saw Willamette a little rusty out of the gate in their first game off the bye last week. We'll see if the same sorts of issues plague Linfield as under center, quarterback Blake Eaton turns hands off. This is Jackson Pfeiffer. We thought we might see Aaron Martinez back in the starting lineup in the backfield for Linfield here this afternoon. Unfortunate start to his season. Check this out. On his first carry of the game, suffered an injury, gained 5 yards on that play, but had to be taken off the field and hasn't seen the field since. We are told, however, Aaron Martinez, a 6-foot senior from Wilmington, California, is dressed and active today. We will likely see him on the field here at some point. 2nd and 7 now for the Wildcats. They dump it off here on the near side. That's tight end Will French with catch number 6 on the season. Just outside the numbers, and looks like he's got enough to move the chains.
Good stop there by Lique, making his second tackle of the afternoon already. The all-conference selection last year, leading this defense. Bearcats come in with a 4-2-5, and that's what Linfield will also play coming in.
Well, wipe the Will French reception off the board. First penalty of the game comes on the game's second play, and it will back Linfield back inside its own 35, back to the 34 for second and 13. Now shotgun set, empty backfield. 3 wide to the left, 1 near to the right. Receiver falls down. That's Jacob Slifka slipping and falling in front of the Bearcats sideline. As he comes out of his route, the ball was on its way out of the hand of quarterback Blake Eaton. But Slifka just fell down on the play, and the ball sails incomplete, and it's 3rd and long for the Wildcats.
Bearcats with a 3-man front, but Woods coming through on the blitz. He got a nice shot on the quarterback.
So a long 3rd and 12 here for the Wildcats. Eaton takes the snap, drops, has a man down the far sideline, streaking open, but can't quite run under that pass, put a little bit too much under it. And it's a 3 and out for the Wildcats after the penalty on second down shut down the drive, and Linfield forced to punt on the game's opening drive.
Yeah, that penalty really hurt them. They were moving the ball really well to start. Then they had 4 men in the backfield, and ironically on the next play they didn't want to make that mistake again. They went with an empty backfield.
Punter Thomas Tabor off to a nice little start, averaging just under 40 yards per punt. Boomer sends the return man back all the way to exactly the 20-yard line. Fair catch called for by Brandon Johnson.
And Tabor, an All-American punter. Second team All-Conference, but All-American honors, and he was a preseason All-American, one of 3 preseason All-Americans on this Linfield team. And we'll see Blake Rybar coming in as a 2-time Player of the Year in the Northwest Conference. The Centennial Conference is where I used to be.
Well, the Wildcats have studs at every level of defense. We'll get into that in just a moment. Meanwhile, here's Alex Rivera on first down. Turns, gives. Gabe Herrera with a big burst out across the 30. Gain of 11 on first down. Outstanding job up front in the trenches by that Bearcat offensive line. There's some beef up there up front. Now the Bearcats want to play with some pace. Nice little chunk from Gabe Herrera on first down. Now a first down throw here in the flat near side. Elijah Romero gathers catch number 15 on the season. Now a couple of guys getting up close and personal. Just making some plans for after the game.
Yeah, Carter Studer very close to getting an unsportsmanlike conduct there. He just did not want to let go after forcing the receiver out of bounds. And a little surprised they didn't throw a flag there. They were both kind of pushing back and forth, but he was definitely the instigator on that.
Gain of 5 yards on the play for the Bearcats. 2nd and 5 now for Willamette at their own 36. Single setback remains Herrera. 2 wides to either side. That pass juggled and unable to hold on to it. Brandon Johnson. Johnson had a massive chunk play on that final drive last week. The 40-yard pass. Rivera finding Johnson in stride to set up that game-winning touchdown last week.
And the Bearcats are in a kind of a hurry-up offense. They're definitely going a lot faster than they have in the past couple of games. This one, they're going to try and make sure they get the right play in, but they are moving quickly.
Motion man. Rivera dumps it off. Little drag route. Trajan Clark shy of the line to gain, however. Short yardage on 3rd down. And it'll be a 3 and out for the Bearcats. So opening 3 and outs for either side to begin this game. We'll get our first look now at Nick Beswick-Seidel, punter for the Bearcats, averaging about 36.5 yards on 13 punts thus far.
And he's done a nice job flipping the field for the Bearcats in the last couple of games.
Punt is blocked, and it sails out of bounds. That is Brady Crenshaw flying through right over the center, straight up the gut, gets right into the teeth of Nick Beswick-Seidel. That punt never had a chance. It skitters off his hand. The only fortunate thing that happened there for the Bearcats is the ball ricocheted, just went east and west and went straight out of bounds. No chance for a scoop and score for the Wildcats. However, they're immediately in business After the block punt, special teams does its job. Let's see if the Wildcats offense can respond in kind. Eaton on the left side finds Jackson Pfeiffer. Scampers out of bounds near the 20.
And did step out of bounds at the 22. It'll be second down and about 6 to go as Linfield comes out, no huddle, and they're in a little bit of a hurry up as well. So both teams going at a high pace this afternoon.
And we'll get our first look at the other quarterback for this Linfield offense. Luke McNabb steps onto the field. These guys are identical in size, both 6'3", 210, but Luke McNabb brings a different dimension to this offense. He can move the pocket and really run with the football. Eaton much more the traditional pocket passer. McNabb, however, turns hands off to Pfeiffer, tries the middle, falls forward for a gain of 1, maybe 2. Might have gotten to the 20. In fact, they will mark him down right at the 20 on the far side hash. So 3rd and 4 coming up for Linfield. And now Blake Eaton will come right back onto the field. So we will see Eaton and McNabb shuttling in and out of this game as the quarterback for Linfield. I'll tell you more about Luke McNabb's family ties with this Wildcat program. In the meantime, motioning in and now settling into the backfield. We'll drop it off in the flat. This is Braden Palmer working his way down the sideline, picking his way down to the 5. He's eventually knocked out of bounds inside the 5. They'll mark him down at the 3, so a gain of 17 on 3rd and 4. And now Linfield with 1st and goal at the Bearcats 3.
And Corrado knocks him out of bounds, saving the touchdown. Man-to-man coverage for Willamette, but nobody to account for the receiver, or the running back actually in the flat.
3-year starter Blake Eaton remains on the field. Now we get our first look at Aaron Martinez. Again, injured on his first carry of the season. This is his first play since. Eaton takes the snap, looks right, has plenty of time, floats a pass to the back of the end zone, up and over the outstretched hands of Will French. It'll be 2nd and goal. Good defense there from the Bearcats at every level of the field.
Yeah, good coverage, nowhere to go, so he throws it away, gives him another chance, doesn't want to risk throwing it in that crowd and maybe giving a turnover to the Bearcats as they were all over that great coverage.
Luke McNabb comes back onto the field, so we really are seeing the tandem quarterbacks for Linfield early on here in the second drive. They have been coming off the field almost every other play for one another. This is McNabb on 2nd and goal. Motion man is Will French moving right to left, now settles into the tight end spot on the left side. French on the keeper. That's touchdown number 5 on the ground for the Bearcats, for the Wildcats. And Luke McNabb responsible for all of them. And Linfield strikes first here after the special teams blocked punt, sets Linfield up with a short field, and they take full advantage and punch it in. They lead 6-0.
Yeah, it looked like the ball came loose, but well after he crossed the goal line there. Bearcats wanted the fumble, but they're not going to get it. And now it's a quick 6-0 lead here. 10:21 to go in the first quarter. Coming on to kick is Gavin Dalziel.
I believe is what
yes.
the Linfield play-by-play crew told us how to say his name. Point after try up and good, and it is 7-0 for the Wildcats. So we'll take a short break here. Linfield strikes first. Bearcat Network. Kickoff game for the Bearcats. Dom Corrado lining up deep. It has, by and large, been the combination of Khalil Hooper and Jarek Little on kick return duties for the Bearcats, but Dom Corrado on the field for both of Linfield's kickoffs thus far. Well, the kickoff and the punt, I should say. Fair catch called for. This one sends Corrado all the way back into the end zone. He retreats there, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Bearcats. Linfield flipped the field after that blocked punt set them up just outside the red zone. Only took them 5 plays to punch it into the end zone from there. So the early score, 10-18. So we're just underway here in the first quarter. Linfield nationally ranked, as they typically are. This Linfield program is by far the flagship program of the Northwest Conference. 67 consecutive winning seasons. We will talk about what that looks like on a national scale later on in the broadcast. That is a massive number. They've had a winning record 67 years in a row.
And Jarek Little on in the backfield for the Bearcats, but that was the quarterback, number 4, Alex Rivera, with the carry on the option. And he gets just a 1-yard gain.
So 2nd and 9 for the Bearcats. Rivera and Jarek Little in the backfield. 3 wides to his right, 1 to his left. Quick snap, is nearly picked, and it is intercepted. Taken away, jumping the route is Jet Searle for the pick 6. And all of a sudden, Willamette in the early hole. Jet Searle just jumped in front of the intended receiver, and great anticipation. That is the first interception for Searle on the season.
Actually, I think that was Blaze Holani.
Was that Blaze Holani?
Picking up the guys next door. Yeah, I thought that was number 5. They're 5 and 6. These numbers blur together. It's tough to do. So another quick score for Linfield, and the All-American punter is holding.
So Blaze Holani, credited with that interception, takes it to the house. And Linfield about 5 minutes into this game already with a 2-touchdown lead. We'll be right back on the Bearcat Network. And 18 seconds gone by, and already Linfield with a couple of touchdowns on the board. It was special teams that set the offense up with a short field on the first one, and the defense with a pick 6 a moment ago. And just like that, Willamette in an early 14-0 hole. Dom Corrado back deep once again. A moment ago, we saw Andrew Odell, who's a Salem kid, by the way, on kickoff duties for this Linfield team. Sends another one deep and through the back of the end zone. Andrew Odell grew up right here in Salem, went to West Salem High School. He handles kickoff duties for this Linfield program. So 14-0 our score.
And a little deceiving, the Bearcats did come out. They played a couple of made a couple good defensive plays out there, but now quickly after that pick 6, trailing 14-0 early, not what they wanted. And like I said, I thought they might go with a little hurry-up offense, and that's what they did on their first series.
Jarek Little, the tailback, offset to the left of quarterback Alex Rivera. He takes the carry, bounces left, gets across the 25 out to near the 30 where he's chased down from behind. That is Blake Rybar, the all-everything linebacker for this Linfield team. He's got 21 tackles coming in today, 3 of them for a loss. He's got a sack and a fumble recovery. We said these guys have dudes at every level. Let's talk, too, about Caleb Sell along that defensive front for the Wildcats. He's a Salem kid, went to Cascade. He's got 6.5 sacks, 3 in one game coming in here today. On the keeper, it's Rivera. Snowed under. Back-to-back tackles for Blake Rybar. He comes up, shoots the gap, and spills Rivera to the turf for perhaps a loss of 1 on the play. Now they'll mark him back at the line of scrimmage. So 3rd and 5 upcoming for the Bearcats. Again, playing with some pace here, Charlie. Interesting to see. 2 wides to the right, 1 to the near side. Derek Little, offset to the right. Rivera backs up. Off his back foot, through the hands of the intended receiver, Nick Coleman. Would have been a nice catch out near the line to gain. But Rivera had to get quick. get rid of it quickly. Unloads the pass incomplete, and it's another 3 and out for Willamette. They've got 1 first down on the day thus far.
And Connor Stevens putting the pressure on there, 4-man front for Linfield, and they're content bringing just 4 rushers. He broke through, put the pressure on.
Beswick Seidel, second punt of the day, gets this one away. Angles it toward the Bearcats sideline. It's fielded outside the numbers, stepping out of bounds with it. Deacon Edgar. After a short gain, and Linfield will begin the next drive at their own 35.
And one thing, Jeff, to note, the only downside of running that hurry-up offense is if you're not getting first downs, you're going to give the ball away. You're not going to take any time off the clock, and that's going to give Linfield a lot more time for possessions and opportunities to score, which they definitely don't want. They did a real nice job on that opening drive. They need to get back to that. Everybody on the line for the Bearcats.
Blake Eaton back on the field. Takes the snap. Starts left, goes right. Now an option pitch. And there's nothing but room to roam for Austin Martinez, accelerating down the sideline. Option pitch. And you said it, Charlie. Everyone for the Bearcats defense started up tight against the line of scrimmage. There was nobody protecting the back end. And Austin Martinez, his second touch of the season. He rumbles 65 yards untouched for another Linfield touchdown.
Yeah, the Bearcats putting a lot of pressure up front, but that allowed the outside. They couldn't cover the edge, and that nice, perfectly timed pitch. And Orion Woods tried to chase him down, but couldn't. Once he was around that corner, he was gone down the sideline.
Point after try. Tacked on, 21-0 our score. You do have to feel good for a kid like Aaron Martinez. Rough start to his season. Injured on his first carry of the year. That's his second touch of the year, and it goes for 65 and 6 points. We'll be right back. First touch, but Linfield getting it done in every phase of the game. Outstanding special teams play to set up 1 touchdown, and the defense gets the pick 6. And they're on 1st and 10 after the second touchdown of the game for Linfield. Aaron Martinez scampers 65 yards for another Linfield score. Just like that, they're already well out in front of this game, 21-0. As a third kickoff from the local kid, Andrew Odell, sails to the back of the end zone, and the Bearcats will start the next drive at their own 25-yard line.
And as we talked about, Martinez coming off that injury, but a bye week last week for Linfield, so he had another week to recover. True. And now he comes in, he's well rested and not banged up from having missed, the last couple of games. But boy, I tell you, that was, a great read there by Blake Eaton coming around. Another nice pitch. He's an all-conference selection as well.
Gut check time for the Bearcats already early in this game. They trail 21-0. Not even halfway through the first quarter.
And you got to wonder if that's going to change their game plan at all. They look like they want to play some hurry-up offense. They may need to slow things down.
Pistol formation here with a receiver stack to you here on the near side. Inside handoff goes to Gabe Herrera. Fights his way across the line of scrimmage for being torn down at about the 29-yard line. They'll spot him down to the 28, so a gain of 3 brings up 2nd and 7.
Rybar again in on the tackle along with Caleb Sell.
4 wide, single setback, pistol formation again on 2nd and 7. Herrera stands behind Rivera, takes the handoff, straight up the gut, gets across the 30, but not much more than that. He's brought down on the far hash mark. Just across the 30 after a gain of 2.
And Rybar just all over the place, making another tackle. And you said he leads the way, 21 coming in, and he seems to have a real nose for the ball from that linebacker spot. And That's how you earn, Player of the Year to back-to-back, and he's shown it already tonight. And Bearcats just trying to run it right up the middle, right at him.
So 3rd and a short 5 for the Bearcats. Rivera takes the snap, dumps it off here on the near side, fighting his way to the edge. Knocked out of bounds from behind. Did he pick up the first down? I believe he did. How about Gabe Herrera angling to the sticks, knew where the boundary was, knew where the line to gain was, and he just does by the nose of the football. Get a first down, and it brings up a fresh set of downs for Willamette.
He made a nice little hesitation there that allowed him to get around the edge and get just enough to move the sticks, but this is a good start for the Bearcats on this drive as Little comes on.
Trips stacked to the right side. High snap, handled well, but a loss of about 1.5 yards. The handoff goes to Jarek Little, but he's snowed under instantly. Good penetration up front from Linfield.
Halani comes up to make the stop, just shy, or actually behind the sticks now. And again, Sell in on that stop as well. So he's got a couple tackles here already this afternoon.
2 wide stack to either side. Rivera takes the snap, jump pass, but crushed from behind. My goodness, Blake Rybar from the out of absolute nowhere, out of the rafters. Rybar just squares up and crushes Little in the back.
Well, that little screen pass just opened the door for Rybar to have a clean shot at him, and he comes up big, brings him down. That's a textbook tackle right there.
Yeah, it looked like it had been set up nicely. There was 2 blockers in front, but Rybar just threads the needle, splits the defense, and makes the play. Gain of 1 yard back to the original line of scrimmage, so 3rd and 10. Rivera, high snap, gathers. He is dropped as he lets go of the football. Have we heard a whistle? No, they're saying this is a fumble.
They're saying a fumble, and that's going to be returned, picked up, and I think that's number 6 picking up. So that's Cyril, who we thought had the interception on the last possession. They're going to let it go. I don't know. I mean,
well, the referees are talking. I'm not sure. They're all going to get together. That did, in fact, look a lot like.
Well, they're going to let the play go.
Sure.
To see what happens.
Yeah,
but
we're going to replay of it right here. Oh yeah, that's a pass. It banged off the backside of one of his offensive linemen. That's clearly a pass. They can't. Yeah. Well, good job of the referees to get together and talk that one through. That was clearly an incompletion.
And they don't have the luxury of replay. They can't look at it again. They just got to talk about it and see, what did you see? But on the downside of that, yes, no turnover, no touchdown, but now 4th down. And the Bearcats are going to be forced to punt again, 4th and 10. So after a nice start to that drive, they stall a little bit again. And we'll kick it away.
With the timeout, it gives us a chance just to take a look at the scoreboard around the rest of the Northwest Conference today. Remember, everyone else is already in the clubhouse here today. Lewis and Clark jumped out to a 24-0 lead on George Fox. That was a bit of a surprising start to that game. George Fox did rally back for 3 touchdowns in the second half, but the rally fell short. Lewis and Clark hanging on at home to take down the Bruins. 24-21, the final score there. Perhaps the biggest game of the day, Whitworth at PLU, able to get a 2-score victory in Tacoma, taking down, make it Puyallup, or Parkland even, to be more accurate. Whitworth, the 34-23 victory over the Lutes. And Pacific winning big against Puget Sound, who actually led that game by a couple of touchdowns before fading late and eventually losing by about 3 scores. 4th and 10 here at McCulloch Stadium. Beautiful day in Salem. Not a cloud in the sky. About 70 degrees down on the field. That punt, I think, was partially blocked. Might have got a fingertip to it, did Jed Searle. Big lick on the far side of the field.
Yeah, a little risky picking that up. He got a couple extra yards on it, but he paid for it as a big, big shot on the sideline, dangerously close and into the Linfield bench. So,
do you think Jet Searle may have gotten a piece of that off the foot? It came off pretty wobbly, didn't travel all that far down the field. So already 1 block and 1 punt deflection for this special teams unit for Linfield. We're playing well in all facets of the game. They lead 21-0. Back on the field comes quarterback Blake Eaton, the 3-year starter for this Wildcat offense.
Martinez back there with him.
Play fake to him. Lots of time. Eaton now just goes down to the safety valve here on the near side. It's Martinez, makes the first man miss, gets across midfield, and is wrestled and jostled out of bounds by Dom Corrado after a gain of about 6 yards. Brings up second and short for Linfield. Tons of time in the backfield. No pressure at all for Blake Eaton, but great coverage downfield for the Bearcats. Forced Eaton to drop it off. Checked all the way down to Aaron Martinez. Still a gain of 7. Second and 3 for Linfield from the Bearcats 46. Back under center, Blake Eaton, single setback behind him is Aaron Martinez. Turns and hands off to Martinez. Good penetration on the left side, but Martinez shakes free, gets around the end, and has first down yardage after a gain of 6 to the Bearcats 40. Martinez once again making the first man miss and picks up positive yardage.
Yeah, great little move there inside out, and then he'll just go on and take on Like. Good stop there. He had a little bit of a lane too before the linebackers did close in on him, and on the previous play, having Martinez as your safety valve isn't a bad option either, as he had a pretty good gain on it. But good coverage downfield by the Bearcats, but then they just dump it off to Martinez and let him go to work on the outside.
Bearcats just unable to set the edge. Luke McNabb back on the field for the first down play. Motioning in, now back out. Will French, low snap, play fake. McNabb steps up, drilled and brought down from behind. Working his way into the backfield. Excellent penetration that time. Hogan Smith with a massive sack and a big loss for Linfield on first down. Hogan Smith making a play.
Safety blitz, and they make the most of it as Smith just all over him. Pocket collapsed, and he just finished things off. Second down and 17 to go.
Yeah, second and long anyway. Second and forever here for Linfield. That stymies the drive, at least for the moment. Back on the field comes Blake Eaton in the shotgun. Connor Wolf motions right to left, settles into the slot. Eaton takes the snap, couple step drop. Now he'll check down. This is Jackson Pfeiffer, who's really effective catching passes out of that Linfield backfield. That's his 16th catch on the season. That ties him with Connor Wolf for team high honors. And that's a big chunk play for Linfield. And on 2nd and 17, Linfield able to move the chains inside the Bearcats 30.
And again, the Bearcats go with a 3-4, and they had coverage defense, but again, that running back, nobody's accounting for the running back in the flats. They're doing a real nice job keeping, the downfield receivers covered, but then again, dumping it out to the outside. They did it to Martinez, and then they did it again there to Pfeiffer, and that when they get that ball out there uncovered and get ahead of steam, they're going to get big chunk yardage, like you said, and another first down for Linfield.
And it's so difficult to game plan for not one but two very effective quarterbacks. And these guys both have a really good amount of experience with this Wildcats offense. We mentioned Blake Eaton's a 3-year starter for this program. Went down with 2 games to play last year. Luke McNabb very capably fills in for Linfield. Now this year, they're coming out and you're seeing it. This is a 2-quarterback tandem set. And these guys are both very effective. Again, physically, they're identical. 6'3", 210, each of them. The big difference, Blake Eaton, a much more pure pocket passer. Luke McNabb brings the element of that dynamic rushing game, besides also having a very credible arm to throw the ball with. Now here's Eaton moving the pocket right to left. And he overthrows his intended receiver past the line to gain. So good coverage from the Bearcats brings up 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats.
Hill on the coverage. Nothing there. Threw it away. Good block by Martinez, and that's the other thing you got to worry about, too. If you're Willamette, you have these 2 great quarterbacks, but you have 2 solid running backs. Now with Martinez returning and being healthy. Hill, the special teams player of the week for the conference last week, blocking a field goal and making some other big plays.
Martinez takes the handoff. Excellent penetration. Way to fight through the blocks there. Hriday Raj just moving the line with him. Sets the edge here just outside the numbers. Fights through the block. Excellent penetration and pursuit from Willamette. And it's no gain, and now 3rd and 10 for Linfield.
Yeah, also in on that tackle, Javi Rodriguez, who is the defensive player of the week in the conference, as the Bearcats swept the honors. Rivera the offensive for that big drive.
You're stealing one of my key components of the broadcast for later here, Charlie. Spoiler alert, everybody.
Alert.
Yeah.
Well,
Third and 10.
does.
Here's Eaton. Drops back. Lots of time. Looks right. Now takes off. Gets to the 25. Trying to get to the 19-yard line is the line to gain. He's well short of that. They'll mark him down at the 22. Well, I've got one. The far side official says 22. They're marking it down at about the 21. So it'll be fourth and a long 2 or short 3 for Linfield. They will keep the offense on the field. Blake Eaton will go to work with an empty backfield. But ahead of that, the Bearcats will call timeout number 2. 4th and 3 upcoming for Linfield on the other side of this break.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, it's... Linfield is facing. We'll see what they decide to do coming out of the timeout after the Bearcats burned timeout number 2. They will, in fact, keep the offense on the field. Here comes Blake Eaton. And they will operate out of an empty set. 5 wides on the field. Aaron Martinez, though, the tailback, lined up in the slot. Now he comes in motion left to right and will settle into the backfield on the right of Eaton. Eaton takes the snap. Pump fakes, tucks, runs, has to get to the 19. Does he get there? He will. Just barely. That last effort here on the near side as he plunges forward. Oh, they're going to mark him maybe perhaps shy. One referee comes all the way back and marks him down at the 19. And if that's the case, that means he did not reach the line to gain.
We'll check out the replay, and it did look like his knee was down. He did kind of bounce a little bit, but I don't know. His hand was there. He lifted off. That might have been a first down, so... Maybe it's a little bit of mercy there, but it was...
Well, we will sure as heck take that here in Salem. But I don't know that his knee actually did wind up touching.
It looked like he was down, but again, in the replay, you could see he helped him. He held himself up with his hand that gave him that extra push, and he would have had it, but... And Linfield, they had to go for it, really. They're in kind of no man's land. It's a long field goal. You can't really punt it. I guess you could, but what's the point of that, really? And, first quarter still, 21-point lead, but they're still going to keep the offense on the field and try and get another set of downs.
Well, bend but don't break. The approach for the Bearcats defense as they stiffen on 4th down, forced a turnover on downs. Linfield showing blitz. And Gabe Herrera takes the handoff. Fights his way past the blitzing linebackers for Linfield. Rybar just continues to fly around from that middle linebacker spot. Gain of 2 yards for Gabe Herrera.
And the Bearcats still in a little bit of that hurry-up offense. They're not huddling up. They're not taking their time. They're going right to the next play.
2 wides to either side as Rivera awaits the shotgun snap. And now Herrera motions out. They set up the screen here on the near side. This is Trajan Clark, but Linfield does a nice job of reading that play. They cover up very quickly, and it's a short gain of about 2 for Trajan Clark. That'll bring up 3rd and call it 7 for Willamette.
Johnny Miller does a nice job wrapping him up there. As Clark trying to get to the outside, he might have had a lane down the left sideline if he could have broke free, but a nice quick move by Miller to wrap him up, bring him down.
So another 3rd and long for the Bearcats. Rivera takes the snap, floats a pass down the near sideline, has a man, but Trajan Clark, I don't know that he ever saw the ball. Head turning left, turning right, looked up. I don't know that the pass ever quite caught his eye.
Yeah, good ball there by Rivera, a little bit overthrown, but that Clark got behind the defensive back, Logan Sloman. He would have been long gone if he could have hauled it in, but again, Bearcats, 4th down, 3 and out, going to have to punt it away. 2 men back now as Stonehill is joined by number 11, Deacon Edgar. So both 2 punt returners for the Wildcats.
And over in punt will sail out of bounds before it touches the turf, so we'll see where the referees mark it out. Right around midfield, and in fact right at the 50 is where Linfield will take over. So a short field for Linfield to work with. Just 18 seconds left here in the first quarter. We'll see which of the 2 very dangerous and effective quarterbacks Linfield brings on first down to start this next drive.
And 2 men deep for the Wildcats, as I said, but that 29 Chase Xiong got in anyway and put a little pressure on him and forced an early kick.
Now the Bearcats moving everyone around on defense, as it is Luke McNabb on the field in the shotgun pistol formation for Linfield. McNabb, play fake, rolls right, looks downfield. He's going to be taken down in the backfield for a massive loss of more than 10 yards, staying with the play and finishing in the backfield. Austin Payne along with Landon Waters.
And Rodriguez there, they just
make
pinned
it
him
Javi
in.
Rodriguez, excuse me.
Pinned him in, they pushed him back and brought him down. And again, good coverage by the Bearcats, man-to-man coverage, and they had the receivers locked down, nowhere for McNabb to go with the ball.
So the teams will actually flip the field, but the Bearcats defense doing its part to sort of flip the field as well. Second quarter action is coming up in just a few moments. Second and 21 for Linfield here after the 11-yard loss, courtesy of the tandem sack for the Bearcats, Javi Rodriguez and Austin Payne, bringing down Luke McNabb for a deep loss. He'll actually say a loss of 10, so second and 20 on the first play of quarter number 2. This is Eaton back on the field, but ahead of the first play, false start penalty whistled against Linfield. So second and long becomes second and even longer. Second and 25 it'll be.
Please reset the game clock to 15 minutes.
As the Bearcats rotate in some fresh personnel. Raj back on the field for second and 25. Blake Eaton waiting on the shotgun snap. Takes it, fakes the handoff, drops, steps up, fires right side, has a man. That is McLean Stone King. He taps the toes along the far sideline, gets back a big chunk. It'll be third and manageable. Or do they actually rule it incomplete? They must have, because they're spotting the ball back at the line of scrimmage. It looked to me like Stone King made that catch and got at least 1 foot down.
He might have been, he had his back to us, he might have been bobbling it a little bit.
That could have been it.
Something we couldn't see there.
So third and 25 for Linfield. I can't even count that high. Eaton dumps it off underneath. Going to be a short gain here as the pursuit is there. And a gain of 4 will bring up 4th and 21 for Linfield. So the Bearcat defense to open the second quarter does its job after the massive sack from Austin Payne and Javi Rodriguez.
Went back to Stonehill on that pass, but Stonehill, he caught it wide open, but then nowhere to go really, as 3 Bearcats just kind of pinned him in again. They're doing a nice job containing after the catch.
Linfield had great field position. They started that drive at midfield, and they went nowhere but backwards. And a fair catch down inside the 20, called for by Dom Corrado, and the Bearcats will start at their own 19.
Tabor with another big booming punt, forcing the fair catch, and that's the reason he's an All-American. He really gets that ball up in the air in good distance, giving his cover unit time to get down there.
Again, the other results from around the conference have all gone final. Whitworth improves to 4-0 on the season as they take care of business on the road against PLU. Lewis and Clark with a bit of an upset victory over George Fox. Lewis and Clark 1-2 in non-conference play. George Fox 2-1, including a non-conference defeat of the Bearcats. Herrera met immediately.
Blaze Alani again on that stop, wraps him up, brings him down. Not much going. They'll give him right back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10.
Pacific hanging half a C-note on UPS. So 2nd and 10 now for the Bearcats after no gain. Alani with a nice tackle in the backfield. Rivera, short drop, steps up, brought down. Gabe Erickson, who doesn't appear on the Wildcats 2-deep, but Charlie, he's had a really good season. He's got a couple of sacks and a forced fumble to his name, even though he's not listed as one of the 2-deep down linemen for this Wildcat defense. He brings down Rivera, fights off the block. Gain of 2, but 3rd and 8 now for the Bearcats. Linfield showing blitz. We'll see if Rybar comes. He does. Rivera gets rid of it across the middle. Has a completion, met immediately. And it's a 1st down for Willamette. How about that catch from Jonah Lurson? That's his 2nd catch of the season. His 1st for positive yardage. Lurson's 1st catch of the year. Netted -2 yards, but that one moves the chains for the Bearcats. Fresh set of downs for Willamette. Nice job of Alex Rivera to read the blitz, get rid of the ball quickly.
And good protection there, giving him just enough time. He didn't have much.
This is Khalil Cooper on the end around. He takes the inside give as he came in motion. Tries to get to the edge, but he's cut down on the far hash. And now a penalty marker flies after the play. We will sort this out.
Caden B.G. Weatherby on the stop. And the Bearcats looking at 2nd and 9. It was after the play, so probably going to be some kind of unsportsmanlike. We're going to see who is the guilty party, or who struck first, or who got caught. So it's going to be.
By the way, that was the 2nd carry of the season for Khalil Hooper. Khalil Hooper was a little bit more involved in the offense last season. His 1 carry that he had on the year so far went for a touchdown.
After the play, personal foul, necessary roughness. Offense number 56, 15-yard penalty. The down counts, 2nd down.
That one going against Parker Heisey, the 6'1" left tackle for this Bearcats offense. So tough break for Willamette. We'll back them back up inside their own 20. And they'll be faced with 2nd and long. You heard the official say it, the down counts, because that penalty came after the play. So 2nd and very long for the Bearcats. Now have to reach the 40-yard line to move the chains a 2nd time on this drive. Shotgun snap on its way. Rivera takes it, rolls right, looks downfield, floats a pass down the seam, and it's intercepted. It's taken away. I thought for a moment that Elijah Romero was going to come down with that ball, but the last moment it was ripped away.
Yeah, Kobe Kalakaua pulls it away, threw it into double coverage, and he just came up a little bit short, wrapped it up, and just hugged it, fell down, and another turnover as.
Threw it into double coverage, but still Romero had a chance to make the play, and I thought that he was going to come down with that throw. So not a bad decision necessarily by Rivera. Romero is one of his most trustworthy receivers. He's leading the team in receptions this year. However, just a tough break as Kalakaua just never gave up on the play, wrestled it away, and that's interception number 2 for Linfield. We're back in business just across midfield after the 2nd turnover by the Bearcats. Aaron Martinez spills across the 45, or he's taken down right at it anyway. So 2nd and 4 for Linfield coming up. Once again, Blake Eaton on the field.
Coming up to the corner to make the stop, Judah Ali Alfua. I can never get that right. He played at West Salem when I covered his high school games.
Ali Ifua.
Ali Ifua.
There you go.
He's got to get the roll off your tongue.
Eaton takes the snap, slides to his right, has a man in the flat, but he's wrapped up. Let's go with the pass as he's being taken to the turf. Good pursuit from John Williamson. He's got 1 sack on the season, almost had sack number 2, but Eaton does just enough to elude his grasp. And it's 3rd and 5 now. Make it 3rd and 6 for Linfield. At the Bearcats 45. They'll bring the extra defensive back onto the field. It's Malik Green. Got interception last week for the Bearcats. 2 wides to either side. 1 motions across. That's Connor Wolf settling into the slot on the right side of the formation. Eaton drops. Looks right. Pass away. Had a man wide open, but missed him by a good 10 feet. That pass not close to Connor Wolf. That was just not a well-directed pass from Blake Eaton. And it is 4th down for Linfield. So after the turnover, Linfield can do virtually nothing with it. They will pin Willamette back deep in their own territory, very likely, pending the outcome of this punt. But how about the Bearcats defense starting to answer the call as they trail 21-0 in this game. Punt is away. It will sail over the head and nearly into the end zone. Linfield had an opportunity to down it inside the 5-yard line, but Bubba Preston or Jackson Pfeiffer, I believe that was Bubba Preston, that almost caught it on the fly. And if he could have slammed on the brakes, could have set it down right at the 1. Instead, it goes off his hands. He bobbles it into the end zone, and a touchback results for the Bearcats. So let's see if we can get the Willamette offense going right here. Charlie, what do you think?
It'd be perfect. Just like last week, you got a second quarter, they started to pick things up, and good field position coming out to the 20. And again, he should have tipped it back. He had teammates there as the fair catch was called on. Then they let it go. But fortunate for the Bearcats, they'll have a pretty decent field position here on the 20. Try to get things going. Still going to that run game, trying to break things up, get them to commit a little bit, get those receivers a little room to make some moves downfield. And the sticks are set up on the 10, which I'm not sure where that would be, because it would have been the 5 if they wanted to put it where he first touched the ball. They didn't control it, but...
Yeah, they will move it out to the 20. I believe the sticks are just in the wrong spot.
Oh, now they're backing it up? Nope, no they aren't.
During the kick, holding number 34 of the kicking team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the touchback. It's 1st and 10.
Well, I'll tell you, Charlie, that's an anomaly right there. Whenever there's holding on a punt, it's 99% of the team on the receiving, 99% of the time on the receiving team. That's an interesting call going against Linfield.
Yeah, you definitely don't see that every day, and it's kind of like, why would you even do that? But
that is a
it's
rarity.
Been pretty chippy right off from the first
teams.
play on the sideline. That's been back and forth. There's been a couple of after the play interactions between these teams.
Well, it's Rivera and Herrera in the backfield once more for the Bearcats here on the near hash on 1st down. Rivera trying to throw a pass to Trajan Clark down the sideline. He'd been sort of angled out of bounds by the defender in coverage. Jet Searle was in his hip pocket, riding him all the way down the field. It's a low percentage pass here on the perimeter, intended for Clark. It brings up 2nd and 10 now for Willamette.
Rivera put it in a good spot where Clark could have kind of came in and gunner, but he was pushed out, like you said. Good coverage by the cornerback to not let him get inside and get to the ball.
Spread field again, 4 wides on the field. Pocket collapses. Rivera escapes. Throws on the run. Is that picked off? It was, but was the defender out of bounds?
And they're still fighting for it on there, like I said.
Elijah Romero over on the far sideline, as is Brandon Johnson.
And there's
I think
a flag.
they're just going to rule it incomplete. But yeah, penalty marker behind the play. Thrown in the area of offensive holding. We'll see here in a moment.
So the linesman is. So it's going to be on Willamette, as I heard the official say, do you want to decline that and make it 3rd down?
Holding, offense number 56, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So Linfield will, in fact, take the yardage and back the Bearcats up to the 20, where it'll be 2nd and 20.
And so it wasn't an interception. It might have been a reception, as the lineman still was at the 50-yard line marking the spot. So I think he did make the catch, but negated by the hold, and that'll back up Willamette to the 20-yard line. And a ways to go here. 11:03 to go in the half.
Ball spotted on the near hash. 2 wides to either side. Empty backfield. As Herrera motions out. They dump it off underneath. Actually, this is Rivera on the run, scrambling free. Another penalty in the backfield. We will await the outcome of this marker.
I think it's another hold. We'll bring it back most likely. Keep pushing them back further.
Holding. Offense number 75, 10-yard penalty, second down.
So after a good start by Willamette, they had a real good start on the opening drive. Linfield capitalized on a couple of opportunistic plays with the pick six. They go up 21-0, and that's where it stayed here for quite a while. Willamette's really held their own since that point, since giving up that third touchdown.
However, they face 2nd and 30 from their own 10. Rivera takes the snap, short drop, and he's taken down. Pocket collapses. A couple of Linfield linemen there on the sack. One of them getting up and celebrating, Nick Severson. He's got a couple of sacks. Give him half of one more. Also in there, Connor Stevens in on the play. So they each kind of wrap up Rivera as he steps up into the pocket.
And no
but
surprise.
right into the awaiting grasp.
Reiber also there.
Yeah.
No surprise on that.
Nose for the ball, to be sure. Now it's 3rd and 33 for the Bearcats. And they'll just give up here to a certain degree. Has positive yardage anyway for Gabe Herrera. Fights it out for a much easier punt attempt for the Bearcats here on 4th and very long. So the Willamette offense continues to be stymied by this very tough and suffocating physical Linfield defense. Just been really difficult to sustain a drive for Willamette so far in this game, Charlie.
Absolutely. And Rybar, you just see he's so impactful. He reminds me of a linebacker I had at Dickinson named Eric Doobie, who used to drive the defensive coordinator nuts because he would just not stay with his assignment, but then he was always there to make the plays.
And a penalty marker in the backfield coming after Beswick Seidel. They got to him and dropped him. This is likely going to keep the ball with Willamette if this is going to be a personal foul, and I believe it should be.
Definitely was. There was a lot of contact.
Running into the kicker, receiving team number 3, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 4th down.
Well,
I don't know.
That's why speculating from the broadcast booth never pays
off. He ran into
off.
him pretty hard, I think. I don't see this on the replay. That looked like a pretty good collision, and it also depends on what leg he got.
Number 3.
So just a 5-yard penalty. So they'll walk off the yardage and retry the down.
And we'll see here on the replay what exactly happened. It wasn't as bad as I initially thought, but even still, I don't know. I think that should have been roughing the kicker, not running into.
Well, the coach's booth for the Bearcats is next door to us, and they didn't much care for the call. Good punt. Oh, that might have been touched. That might be a live ball on the field. If the Bearcats can fall on it, they might have it in their own red zone, in the Linfield red zone, rather. Instead, able to retreat and fall on that live football. Reed Gray just does get back.
Yeah.
So Reed Gray able to retreat to the ball. He falls on it. But an outstanding punt from Beswick Seidel after the miscue for Linfield. Drives it all the way back inside the 20. So the Bearcats able to flip the field anyway after being backed up a few different times on the preceding drive. Back on the field comes Blake Eaton. Single setback. Takes the snap. Hands off. No, play fake. Throws deep. Has a man wide open down the right side. McLean Stone King inside the 40, still on his feet. Chased down eventually near the far sideline. Stone King just slipped right through the defense undetected. Was waiting on that pass for what felt like a minute and a half. Could have made a sandwich in the time that it took to settle into his breadbasket. And Linfield going quickly. Eaton moves the pocket, rolls left, drag route, has a man, Will French, rumbling down close to the 20. Spilled out just inside the numbers.
And really in this hurry-up offense, not close to the half, 8:40 to go, so plenty of time, but I think Linfield really putting the foot on the gas.
Back-to-back big hitters for Linfield. They are back in business. Now Eaton rolls right this time, floats a pass nowhere near any receiver toward the boundary.
And the Bearcats go back to man-to-man coverage there. They had been in a little bit of zone, and that was giving some seam work for the Bearcats, finding open guys, moving the ball quickly. So after that, what could have been detrimental on the punt return, the E6 as it went through his legs, but he fell on it and gave him the ball. But now they're on the other side of the field.
Eaton remains on the field. Aaron Martinez to his right. Takes the shotgun snap. A little inside give, a little trap play of sorts. Now this is Martinez with room to roam. Down to the 10, inside the 10, and brought down by 2 or 3 Willamette defenders in pursuit, but not before Aaron Martinez with a big play. But hold everything. There's a penalty marker thrown in the backfield. This one could be coming back.
And a good scheme there.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
Austin Lakem, the center for Linfield, flagged for the hold. So bring back the very nice run from Aaron Martinez, but perhaps that's what sprung him in the first place. That hold did sort of develop near where he was blocking. So first and goal now becomes 2nd and 20 at the Bearcats 32. Eaton still out there. He's been the only quarterback on this drive for Linfield who have been shuffling Luke McNabb in and out of the lineup. Now moving right, scrambling, has a man with separation, makes a move. Caleb Woodcock cuts back the other direction, gets across the goal line, and spills into the end zone. Touchdown, Linfield. They lead 27-0. Nice move from Caleb Woodcock after he caught the wide open pass and then just flipped the field, cutting right to left. He did the work. Yards after catch, punishing the Bearcats for touchdown number 4.
Yeah, just rolling out, letting the play develop. He made a nice cut, got a little bit of space, and then, as you said, a little juke inside, got him into the end zone. Little movement up front on both sides, but I think that's going to be a false start on Linfield on this extra point. Like the right tackle. Well, we will see both 3 officials conversing, see who went first. Was it the offense or the defense? They have made their decision. We'll see what the call is going to be.
Offside defense. Half the distance to the goal line. Retry.
So they'll move a little bit closer, and
now they might be pulling the kicker off, and they might go for 2 instead.
I was a little surprised. I was just going to say, I think they'll just, with the 27-0 lead here, I think they would just leave the kicker on the field, but no hesitation as they'll bring the offense right back.
Well, if nothing else, it's good reps. That's the sort of thing that if you're given an opportunity to move the ball closer to the goal line, you can try a couple of different plays here that you've got squirreled away in the playbook. So they will, in fact, bring Luke McNabb on for the 2-point conversion, and Carson Mullins will be on the field for this one as well. First time we've seen him in the backfield today. Fake to him. Now McNabb tries to power his way toward the goal line. Does he get there? I believe they're going to mark him short. Neither referee has indicated whether he got in yet. And I think that the Bearcats did their job. I think they snuffed it out. So all Linfield had to do was punch it across from 1 yard out, and they were unable to do so. The Bearcats turn Linfield away on the 2-point conversion. The lead now sits at 27-0 for the Wildcats.
And on the sideline cam, it wasn't even really close. Good job by the front line of the Bearcat defense to push forward, get some penetration, and then finish things off.
Well, ahead of this kickoff, this is a good opportunity. And Charlie, you mentioned this a couple of times already earlier in the broadcast. The Bearcats swept the Football Student Athlete Awards last week. Alex Rivera was named the Offensive Player of the Week for the Northwest Conference after he led those 2 massive drives, one to end the first half, the second to end the game in the victory over Simpson. On defense, Javi Rodriguez, who made several key plays for the Bearcats, had 3 tackles for a loss last week, 3 quarterback hurries as well. Total of 7 tackles on the afternoon. And Salah Hill was named the Special Teams Northwest Conference Student Athlete of the Week as he intercepted a pass and blocked a punt that resulted in a scoop and score on special teams for the Bearcats. So congratulations to Willamette for sweeping the Football Student Athlete Awards in the Northwest Conference 1 week ago.
And Rodriguez coming in with, 9 tackles on the season, 8 of those solos. So he made a couple of big solo stops. And we said not huge numbers for those guys last week, but the key plays that they made were really integral in that win. And as we said, Willamette didn't lead until very, very late.
Their only lead of the game came with 32 seconds left against that upstart first-year fledgling program. NAIA Simpson trying to get its first win. Fought hard the entire 60 minutes. Gave the Bearcats, I think, a lot more than they expected.
A lot of talent on that team, a lot of speed as they expected.
Split setbacks for the Bearcats here on 1st and 10. After the touchback, Jarek Little on the handoff, tries the left side. Gets near the numbers where he's taken down after a short gain. Call it 2, they'll mark him down to the 27.
And again, good job by that Linfield defense. You just read the play, keep everybody there. Nice block on Rybar, but he still gets involved. This kid's just unbelievable all over the field and in on everything.
Yep, Herrera and Little stay on the field. Now motioning out is Herrera into the flat. Rivera drops back, fires deep, has a man down the field, but just does overthrow Trajan Clark. Had a step on his man, but it's just been that kind of day. Alex Rivera has made some good throws, but he's just been a little bit off by a degree or two on just about every single one of them.
And that was similar to last week. He just put the ball where the only person that could get it was his receiver, and Clark just could not get underneath it. And if he could have hauled it in, he probably would have been able to sprint his way into the end zone. So a good call there, good read, but just couldn't get the execution.
Feels like the Bearcats have been facing 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8. Blitz comes from Linfield. Alex Rivera tries to scramble out, but he is brought down. Instant penetration. It's Connor Stevens who gets there first. Linfield brought the house, and they wrecked the house. It's 4th and long for Willamette.
Yeah, huge pressure there. No time at all for Rivera, and that's going to force, again, another punt from deep in Bearcat territory. And again, 2 men deep for Linfield on this punt, but they got penetration the last time they had 2 men deep on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Beswick Seidel's been busy today. He will punt from deep in Willamette territory. 6:20 and counting left here in the first half. This is Reed Gray on the return. Fights his way across midfield, inside the Willamette 45.
And a real nice punt, but allowed the return. A little bit of a lane, but good job by the coverage team to get down there and make the stop. And we will see 6:11 to go here in the half. Linfield will start its drive in Willamette territory on the 45-yard line.
Well, which it looks like it will be McNabb to start the drive this time around. So Blake Eaton will start this drive anyway on the sideline. Luke McNabb, the younger brother of Connor McNabb. He led Linfield in rushing each of the last 3 seasons before graduating after the fall campaign a year ago. No step drop, and my goodness, squirting free. Jackson Pfeiffer rumbling all the way down near the 20-yard line. Inside the 25, the marker now the 24. So that was a design play all the way. Luke McNabb just turned, fired into the flat, and Pfeiffer did the rest 21 yards after the catch.
Split a couple defenders and made a nice little move before Hill could bring him down.
McNabb stays on the field on 1st down from the Bearcats 24. On the sweep.
Good job man-to-man coverage again for Willamette.
Connor Wolf on the carry that time. Connor Wolf, a little used tailback in this game. In part that's because he's actually much more of a wideout for this squad. So design run to one of the top receivers on this team.
And with that man coverage, I think they were just trying to get him outside and let him use his speed, but good job by Smith to stay home.
McNabb tucks and goes, has some space on the outside, inside the 5, angling toward the pylon. Did he get in? Looks like he did. Touchdown Linfield. And they are pouring it on here in Salem. They now lead 33-0.
Yeah, just tiptoeing in those last couple of steps to get inside the pylon. And good blocking downfield by Willamette, or by Linfield. I keep switching up my teams here. But, yeah, nice read, gets the edge, and nothing you can do. It's just a foot race. Diving is Waters trying to make him go out of bounds, but can't quite get there.
Well, and you see that dynamic dual threat that Luke McNabb brings to this offense. Luke McNabb did a very good job filling in for Blake Eaton the last couple of games of the season last year.
And the coaches, saw something they liked in the last series and then decided to go with McNabb and set everything up for that last play.
Just under 5 minutes left in the first half. Linfield up big on the Bearcat Network. In Salem, my goodness, look at this scene. It is absolutely gorgeous here. First Saturday in October, everybody. Not really all that autumnal out, though, just yet. In fact, the forecast says it's just going to get warmer and warmer over the next few days. So summer still hanging on by a thread here in the great Northwest.
It's just taunting me that I don't need to close up the pool quite yet.
Kickoff is away. The Salem kid, Andrew Odell, lets fly. And this one will...
Fair catch, that'll bring it out.
Yeah. It's effectively a touchback.
Yeah.
So the Bearcats taking over once again from their own 25.
And that rule changed a few years ago that brings it out to the 25 if you fair catch it anywhere inside the 20. And the Bearcats making good use of that.
It has been tough for the Bearcats offense to get going. Still, Gabe Herrera, 5 carries, 30 yards so far on the day. Rivera, 6 for 14 passing. Just 24 yards to show for, and a couple of INTs as well. Rivera stays on the field, joined by Herrera on first down for the Bearcats' next drive. Inside give, it's Herrera. Fights through the first couple of tackles, and tough sledding from Gabe Herrera as he just pulls would-be tacklers with him across the 30. They bring him down after a 6-yard gain, but Gabe Herrera just fighting through the contact. Just powers his way across the 30 and sets up the Bearcats with second and a very manageable 4 yards as we are at the 4.5-minute mark here of the first half. Rivera takes the snap, hands off. This time, Linfield ready for Herrera. They take him down for a loss of a yard. He is brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Rybar and Alex Frazier in on the stop. Frazier in all-conference selection last year. He was hurt, banged up a little bit earlier this season.
Yeah, one of the calling cards of this Linfield defense has always been that front four. They're so effective. They just blow everything up at the line of scrimmage. They just leave you so little time to throw the ball. They leave so few holes to run through. This team is always so tough. They bring the blitz, and that pass picked off. It's going to be taken back for the second pick 6 of the game. That is
Peyton Anhorn comes away with it.
Who jumps the route and takes it back.
Sideline. Dan.
And the lead continues to grow for Linfield. They have hung 40 points on the board here in half number 1. With still more than 3.5 minutes to play through the game's first 30 minutes. That's the 3rd interception of the game for Rivera, and the 2nd that's been taken back for a pick 6.
And just difficult there where they're getting those interceptions. There's just no hope to keep him out of the end zone. He's got a clear path into the end zone.
Bending in the point after try is Gavin Dalziel. And Linfield with a massive lead here, 41-0. We'll step away for just a moment on the Bearcat Network. Oh, Dom Corrado back deep for the Bearcats. Let's see if he is given the opportunity to run one out so far. Andrew Odell, the local kid from Salem, has been booming the kicks deep and has given the Bearcats no opportunities for a return. There have been plenty of kickoffs from Linfield so far in the first half, but none of them has yet to be returned. And this one won't be either. It'll sail into the end zone as Corrado lets it just fly over his head. So the Bearcats will start once again from their own 25.
And not really anything there, either in the end zone or a fair catch. And Willamette content to start the ball on the 25. Playing it safe, and we'll see if they're going to try and change up the offense. They've slowed down their pace a little bit. I think if things had gone well, they would have stuck with that kind of fast-paced, hurry-up offense.
Well, take a look at this. We are going to get our first look this season at a different quarterback other than Alex Rivera. Pres Suarez will come onto the field. The 6'3 sophomore from Santa Monica, California, gets his first snaps of the season, turns and gives. And fighting his way back toward the line of scrimmage was Jarek Little. But he is thrown asunder. I think forward progress will mark him back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play.
Just ran into Alex Frazier, and Frazier drove him back. Fortunately, he did get back to the line of scrimmage.
So Pres Juarez, this is our first look at the sophomore. Rivera 6 for 15 and 3 interceptions so far in this game. Doesn't mean we won't see, of course, Rivera in the second half, but the Bearcat offense has really struggled here in half number 1, so Eric Williams turns to his backup quarterback for the first time so far this season. Trying the right side this time, fighting his way back to the middle of the field for a short gain was Jarek Little again. And it spills over the right side of the line. But they will mark him down for a second consecutive no gain on the play. So 3rd and 10 after the running game is snuffed at the line of scrimmage on back-to-back plays.
And back-to-back plays by Frazier as he gets another stop there. And Willamette is very poetic backfields. You got Rivera Herrera in the backfield. Now you got Pres Juarez. Just rolls off the tongue.
2 wides to either side on 3rd and 10 for the Bearcats. Juarez drops back, moves the pocket, now fires across the middle. That pass is intercepted. Another interception, the 4th of the first half. This one settling into the hands of Blaze Helani, and that's his 2nd pick of this contest. The Linfield defense has just picked the Bearcats completely apart. No answers for the 11 guys that line up on the other side of the ball so far in this game.
A little bit of pressure there, and Juarez had to throw off his back foot, just didn't get enough juice on it.
Please reset the game clock to 2:14. Thank you.
And adding injury to insult, as it were, Nick Severson bearing down, got right into the armpit of Pres Juarez on that play and buried him in the turf. Juarez never even saw the result of that, the outcome of that play, as he was picking himself up off of the turf. Bad snap for the Wildcats on first down. That was left at the feet of quarterback Blake Eaton. It was fallen on by the tailback.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
So 2-minute warning, and it's all Linfield so far in this one on the Bearcat Network. Bottom's in the air, but some are still hanging on a little bit here.
And we'll see if that comes into play on the passing and the kicking game at all, as if it's going to be difficult to see with those shadows coming from the bleacher side here at McCulloch Stadium.
We are way up top here at the venerable old stadium here in Bush Park, downtown Salem. 2nd down after the Muffed snap. How about Eaton getting rid of that pass? Finds his man. That is Stone King, who had the long touchdown earlier in this game.
And he's just finding that seam. He was wide open once again as I think the Bearcats went back to that zone coverage, which hasn't really been really effective today.
Linfield just not content with those 41 points. They want to go quickly here. Eaton drops it off here on the near side to his safety valve, Jackson Pfeiffer. That's his third, maybe fourth catch of the game already.
And we'll see if they make significant changes here after the break, as, I mean, last year they put up 70, so they're not going to slow down. They're going to keep going.
Fresh set of downs for Linfield. Knocking on the red zone door. Near side, stepping out of bounds after making the catch, Jacob Slifka. He's been active in this game. Has a nice catch. He'll move the chains again, I believe, as they will mark it just at the line to gain, just shy of it, I guess. So second down and a very short one. Nope. They will now move the, well, no.
one guy moved, one guy didn't.
That referee, not quite sure what to make of the spot of the ball. He eventually does tell the chain gang to move him. So Linfield now sets up at the Bearcat 13-yard line. So they can still earn themselves another first down. 1:12 to play. Handoff. Jackson Pfeiffer stutter steps. Now cuts it to the right, back toward the middle of the field where he's upended. Tripped up just shy of the 7-yard line.
And delayed handoff gave him time to read the block. Hogan Smith comes in to make the stop. And a good, pretty efficient 2-minute offense here for Linfield.
And they will now bring Luke McNabb back to the field. So the second of those two very efficient quarterbacks back on. This is Eaton, joined by Jackson Pfeiffer in the backfield. 3 wides to the right, 1 to the left. Motion man coming right to left. Inside handoff, Pfeiffer, no. McNabb on the keeper. Play fake fooled me, as it almost always does. How about that play from the Bearcats? As they stay with McNabb.
Linfield, their second of the half. Please reset the game clock to 26 seconds.
And didn't fool Corrado as he read it nice, put up a nice hit on McNabb. And timeout for Willamette. So as you said, they're not content with this 41-point lead. They're knocking on the door once again and want to put it in the end zone.
So it will be third down and about 4, maybe 5 from the 10. Looks like more like a, where is the line to gain?
I think it is on the 10.
4. I think they've got to get to the 4 for a first down. So third and 6, we'll call it, upcoming here for the Wildcats. Ball spotted here on the near side hash. One more opportunity for Linfield to try to punch it in. Ahead of the first half bell. Waiting in the wings if they're unable to get it in the end zone. Kicker Gavin Dalziel. All right, so Blake Eaton comes back onto the field. Shotgun formation. Pfeiffer to his left, takes the snap. He'll actually tuck it and go. Look at Eaton. You don't see him do this very often. He gets to the 5, but that's short of the line to gain, so it'll be 4th and 1.
Timeout. Linfield, their third and final of the half.
For the Wildcats.
Please reset the game clock to 17 seconds.
After this timeout, so 17 seconds left, as you heard from our crew chief down on the field.
And I don't think Eaton was planning on running there, but he did see a lane as, again, good coverage by the Bearcats. That's probably one of the strengths they've had today, is great job on the coverage defense and not allowing these receivers to get open. They go to the zone a little bit, and they found those seams. They had a couple of big plays, but for the most part, they're doing a nice job containing those receivers. But again, Willamette just coming in. They are pretty much a powerhouse, and they are showing it here, 41-0. And yeah, the Bearcats had a great start. We thought that first drive, okay, things are working. They scored, but then it was like, oh, we're still feeling pretty good. And then the pick 6, and then things kind of just steamrolled from there for the Wildcats.
Well, we're definitely seeing a lot of what this program is capable of. We'll talk a little bit about the flagship program of the Northwest Conference in the second half, what this program has meant to our league for the last several decades. Again, 67 consecutive winning seasons. Charlie, that number is just absurd. 4th and 1 Blake Eaton, pistol formation. Pfeiffer, the single setback. Play fake across the middle. Touchdown, Jacob Slifka. And Linfield continues to pour it on here in Salem at McCulloch Stadium. They now lead it 47-0.
And I thought Landon Waters had great coverage on there. Didn't think that was going to get through. I don't know how he made the catch. Good play action. Bearcats don't really bite on it. They had good coverage as Like came in as well, and Waters there, but just hauled in by Slifka.
And another point after try, up and good for Linfield. 13 seconds left here in the first half. And it is all purple and red here this afternoon.
And Dalziel getting a pretty good stat padding here on these extra points. He hasn't kicked a field goal. He's 4 for 6 on field goals and came in at 11-11 on extra points. So he's adding to that total this afternoon. 13 seconds for the Bearcats. They don't have any timeouts, so probably not going to try too much. Maybe a run. Well, I see Herrera. I'm not sure if he's going to be the running back. Looks like Little will be the guy, but or we'll see if they try to return. They've had a couple of times where Corrado's had opportunities, and he's just made a fair catch, but maybe they'll try and break one here on this kickoff.
That would be something.
Need a little highlight here. Need to get a little momentum going into the break.
Well, for the first time this afternoon, it will not be Andrew Odell handling kickoff duties. This is Gavin Dalziel set to kick off. So Dalziel lets fly with the right foot. It's a much shorter kick, but a fair catch called for at the 15, so the ball will come back out to the 25. Will Willamette do anything with these final 13 ticks of the first half? All Linfield so far in this one. Folks, if you're just joining us, that is not a typo on your screen. Linfield, 7 first half touchdowns. They've done it just about every conceivable way. While they don't have a special teams touchdown, a special teams play certainly set up the first Linfield score of this contest. They blocked a punt on the Bearcats' second possession of the game. Set them up with a short field. Their second touchdown.
Wildcat snap.
Came on a defensive touchdown, a pick six. They've since added a second defensive touchdown as well. So 5 offensive touchdowns, 2 defensive touchdowns. And
that is the end of the first half.
Linfield will take a massive 48-0 lead into the halftime break. Folks, we'll take an extended break here on the broadcast as well, but please rejoin us in about 15 minutes for a look back at first half action here in Salem. It's Linfield up a ton at halftime on the Bearcat Network.
There are more ways than ever to watch Capital Community Media and your favorite local programs. No cable, no Roku, no Apple, no problem. Go to capitalcommunitymedia.org. Click on TV. Choose the channel you want to watch, 21, 22, or 23. See the full day schedule to watch live or search for a program to watch on demand. Find us at capitalcommunitymedia.org. Give it a watch.
So the Center for Hope and Safety, formerly Mid-Valley Women's Crisis Service, has been around for 51 years, providing services and support to victims and survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and human trafficking in Marion and Polk counties. I've been the executive director here for 27 years, and in our former office I had a big door, and I used to put sticky notes on the back of it when I would hear things that survivors needed: housing, job training, supportive services, and I had a whole array of sticky notes. And when we had the opportunity to buy the Greyhound bus terminal, it was a dream come true of these are all the things that we could put into that. A lot of partners came together to make Hope Plaza a reality. We're incredibly blessed to receive over $8 million from lottery bonds and the State of Oregon General Fund. And we had the Appropriations Committee for the federal government provided $2 million. And we also have foundations that came alongside of us. And then, of course, community donations, which are so critical to the work that we do. And so we're just honored to have so much support to make Hope Plaza a reality.
Hope Plaza is more than just a building. It's a symbol of hope and renewal. It's fitting that it stands on the side of an old Greyhound bus station. Once a safe destination for weary travelers, it is now a sanctuary for survivors beginning new journeys toward a brighter future.
So there's 20 fully accessible, affordable housing units. And when I say affordable, today, affordability for most survivors, they cannot afford it. So this is truly low-income housing. They'll only pay 30% of their income for these units. And then we decided that we're paying all the utilities, broadband, and laundry.
In a time when so many Oregonians are struggling to find affordable housing, the creation of Hope Plaza shines as a beacon of what can be accomplished when we prioritize the well-being of our most vulnerable neighbor.
Hope Plaza is actually a part of the continuum of housing that survivors need the most, that permanent housing. It's very difficult for them to be able to afford housing, and we've struggled to find enough permanent housing. And then, of course, every unit is fully accessible, and so being able to know that if somebody comes in and has a disability, we're going to be able to have a space for them that they can navigate and be comfortable in. So it really is unique housing, and then all those wraparound services come alongside that and help them to be successful.
Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm a Republican and I'm quite conservative, and most of you know that Peter was quite liberal, but we were extremely good friends. And I think what this building shows is what politics can achieve when we work together, and I think that's extremely important.
Every step towards being able to help people is a big step forward.
There are more ways than ever to watch Capital Community Media and your favorite local programs. You can find us on Roku, through your player or your Roku TV. Just search for our app and download it for free. Then stream all 3 of our channels live and get pre-recorded video on demand. The Capital Community Media app, available now on Roku. Give it a watch.
On a Thursday evening at South Salem High School, 3 students, all a part of South's DECA program, facilitated a community discussion on the impacts of fentanyl. Their goal is to spread awareness about the growing crisis that is ending the lives of youth everywhere, including Oregon. Their campaign name, Fight Fentanyl with Facts, explains exactly what they are doing.
Our advisor, Mr. Dixon, actually brought up to us that fentanyl was a big problem that was coming up in our community.
We were looking for opportunities to learn more about fentanyl, and we saw that there was a community conversation up in Beaverton. We met Jennifer Epstein there. She was a great resource, and that's how we got in contact with her.
4 individuals whose work directly faces the fentanyl crisis head-on were invited to educate attendees and to answer questions around fentanyl. One of those speakers was Jennifer Epstein. Jennifer is the Director of Research for the family-run nonprofit Song for Charlie, and she's also Cal's mom. Jennifer shared her son's story and shared what Song for Charlie is doing to combat the fentanyl crisis.
My 18-year-old son Cal was a great kid, an average teenager, very well liked, very involved in school, involved in the theater community, a lifeguard. Just seemed to be doing well. He had anxiety, but we were getting all the professional help that we thought he needed, and he seemed to be doing well. He went off to college, spent a semester off at college, came home after the first semester, his freshman year, and we found him unresponsive in his bed. He had reached out on Snapchat to get an Oxy, a choice that was certainly a poor choice, but he, instead of Oxy, he got fentanyl and died as a result. Song for Charlie basically is a nonprofit that was created to raise awareness about fentanyl and fake pills amongst youth and parents. Song for Charlie recently, in January of 2023, we were awarded a contract by the California Department of Healthcare Services to create a portal for parents to help parents understand what is going on with fentanyl and fake pills and to give them resources to educate their kids. And so in September of 2023, we released a new website called The New Drug Talk, Connect to Protect, and it is a website that provides information to parents and really anybody who's interested about what is going on with the fentanyl epidemic, what is going on with fentanyl and fake pills, and it gives them resources to help conversations with young people, with their kids, and also resources to help to understand what to do in case you see somebody overdosing or see somebody struggling with drugs.
Fentanyl is a high-powered synthetic opioid, 50 to 100 times more powerful than plant-based opioids. Unlike opium, morphine, and codeine, fentanyl is man-made and produced within a lab. When used in a controlled medical setting, fentanyl is an extremely helpful tool. However, most street drugs today contain various amounts of fentanyl, and it doesn't take much to induce an overdose.
Just 2 milligrams is enough to kill an average person.
Jennifer also shared a chart from the Song for Charlie website that shows the transition in drug type usage between 2012 and 2022. Fentanyl is stronger, cheaper, and faster to make compared to plant-based opioids. This means it has spread quicker than we had the chance to learn about it.
Today's youth grew up in a different culture. They grew up in a time when people turned to medications to solve problems. From the time they are young, they may see a parent taking Advil for a headache, or they may have friends who are on Xanax or Adderall for anxiety. If they go to a doctor to get a wisdom tooth pulled, they're given a prescription for Percocet. So kids today are a lot more comfortable with medications than previous generations, and they trust them. They know that if they're given a prescription from a doctor, that it's going to have a specified dose, and that's the right dose for them. And so young people don't always understand that a pill that they get from social media, or a pill that might be passed to them by a friend in a hallway, at a party, they don't understand that pill is most likely is not a legitimate prescription pill, and that it could in fact be laced with fentanyl and end their life or cause problems down the road.
We're mostly targeting students, but also parents and just people in the community. We just want everyone to know.
We felt that it was quite important that if it's in the news and it's about someone is dying and our teachers don't know about it, it's something that we should know. And so we wanted to start educating our community.
Sergeant Brian Goldman was another speaker who presented during the community discussion with the goal of sharing his knowledge on the fentanyl crisis from the perspective of someone in law enforcement. Sergeant Goldman works in the drug enforcement section with the Oregon State Police, and he says it's not always easy to spot fentanyl.
So spotting fentanyl in its pill form is very easy to do. Any pill that's blue and it says M on one side and 30 on the other is more likely than not. It's almost always going to be a fentanyl pill. Pretty much any pill that you buy on the street that somebody is selling for the purpose of getting high is most likely going to be a fentanyl pill. It gets trickier when it gets into the powdered form. Fentanyl is a white powder, much like cocaine, meth, or a white China heroin. So it can be a little bit trickier then to distinguish what fentanyl is versus what some of the other illicit drugs are. And we're seeing a lot of cross-contamination too, with fentanyl being mixed with other drugs. So, but I think a safe thing to assume is any time that you're encountering an illicit substance, especially if it's a white powder, it more likely than not has fentanyl in it.
Sergeant Goldman also shared that he's definitely noticed a difference in drug trends within Oregon, and explains how that changes the way in which he carries out his daily duties.
Early in my career, meth was the predominant drug that we encountered on the street. Over the last 4 years, I've seen opioids really start to dominate the market in Oregon, and over the last 2, we've really switched from being a heroin state to a fentanyl state. So we're seeing that trend continue, and it's really reflecting in the overdoses that we see on the street too. We have really recognized how many overdose deaths we're seeing across the state as a state agency, and we're adjusting our strategies to focus on fentanyl as opposed to other things with an effort to prioritize life safety so we can work to reduce those overdose deaths.
In May of 2023, Oregon Senate Bill 238 was passed, which requires schools to create a curriculum that teaches students opioid education by fall of 2024. Salem-Keizer School District, however, has already been implementing new policies to ensure the safety of their students. One of them being that they now keep naloxone, mainly known as Narcan, available for use in case of emergency. Salem-Keizer Public Schools nurse coordinator Jody Peterson and Salem-Keizer Public Schools registered nurse Denise Proudfoot both explained what Narcan is, how to use it, and what schools are doing to make sure the students who need it get it safely.
Narcan is a nasal spray that's easily administered, and it's meant to be administered to individuals who are showing signs of a possible opioid overdose, or fentanyl being the concern that is most prevalent in our community with the 18 to 24-year-old kids. And it's readily available, and it can be immediately effective, and sometimes it takes multiple doses to take effect, but to counteract an opioid overdose, that is the medication that is able to be in the hands of any community member before emergency medical services can be available.
This is a sample dose, and it is very simple. It goes in one nostril, and with the bottom red plunger, you just put it in the nostril and spray. And that is how simple it is to give.
Thankfully, we have not had to administer Narcan within the school day to a Salem-Keizer Public School student since we've had Narcan available in the schools. But what we have been able to do is train a number of staff members to administer Narcan if we needed to, so that we're prepared. And we've had Narcan provided to each school, at least one vial. Nurses carry them, security team members carry Narcan as well, so that we're prepared if there's an unfortunate time that we would need to use it.
In March of 2023, the FDA approved over-the-counter Narcan nasal spray, a big step in the aid of overdose response. The package comes with 2 spray cartridges because the effects of Narcan can wear off quickly, which means that the second dose may also need to be administered before help arrives. That's why it's important to call for help before using Narcan. Another tool that is used to combat fentanyl are test strips. But test strips don't guarantee true results.
You could test a portion of a pill and it could come out negative, but the rest of the pill could have enough to kill 5 people.
Jennifer also explained why it seems that youth today are so comfortable with taking pills of any kind.
I think the community needs to understand that the drug landscape is not the same as it was when most adults were growing up, or even the same as 5 years ago, and it is much more dangerous than ever before. A person experimenting with a pill or a powder could lose their life the first time they try a drug. It is very easy for young people to get a hold of a fentanyl pill, sometimes unknowingly. I know of a mom in California who lost her 13-year-old, and he certainly wasn't looking for fentanyl. He had a root canal and was having lingering pain from that root canal. He was online playing video games with some friends, and he complained about his tooth, and one of his friends that he was playing video games with offered him a Percocet. Lucas said yes, he was interested in trying it, and so his friend dropped off the Percocet at his front door. Luca went downstairs, got that pill, laid down, took the pill, and died. And so, I think kids are trusting. They don't always know what the dangers are, and it's easy for them to make a mistake.
Here's what Sergeant Goldman had to say about what Oregon State Police are doing in efforts to stop the distribution of fentanyl within Oregon.
Reallocation of resources with troopers, at least from our agency, who are focusing in on fentanyl specifically, and getting as much of it as we can off the street, and also doing events like this where we go out and engage the community and help educate community members about the dangers of fentanyl and how to spot it and avoid it.
This event proved to be a vital learning experience for those who were present. Both adults and students were in attendance. They asked questions, shared their thoughts, and in the end, everyone agreed that this was a conversation that needs to continue within communities.
One of my goals was to have people show up and ask questions about, to our panel members, to have that participation element that really, connects the speakers to the audience and the community.
Even if only 2 people showed up and that was our mom and dad, or our sister or our best friend, we still helped someone and we still gave out the knowledge that we have to help anyone.
For more information about the fight against fentanyl, visit www.songforcharlie.org to gain free access to educational resources created for adults and youth. Or call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration National Helpline at 1-800-662-4357. This is Capital Community Media. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back into Salem, Oregon. Charlie and Jeff here on the call for you. Charlie, here's the thing. Typically what we would do at this point, we'd take a look back at first half stats. We'd roll through what happened, some of the highlights, lowlights, whatever happened in that first half. This is where we'd be talking about it. But you know what? What I'm guessing head coach Eric Williams said to his guys is flush it. The first 30 minutes of this game did not happen. Let's just go out, attack this game the rest of the way like it's nothing. Let's just play with abandon. Let's just play like we don't care. Let's just hit the refresh button. So in that spirit, let's do the same thing. Instead of talking about what happened in the first half of this game, we're just going to approach this game in the second half like it's a brand new football game. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, it's really, you don't have much choice. You can't change your entire game plan. You can make some adjustments. Pres Juarez will probably come in and get some more time today with this lead. 48-0, there's not much you can do. Like you say, you just got to come out, clean slate, try and do the best you can, trying to win the second half and work on some things and move forward and try some things that maybe you wouldn't try, but it's an opportunity as well. You got to look at it as an opportunity, really, as well. And we're going to be playing under the lights here a little bit as they have come on, and the field is overcast a little bit with some shadows. And Willamette will get the ball to start the second half, so they'll have an opportunity to get some points on the board, move the ball well. And we didn't see too much of Pres Juarez, so we'll see if he is the guy that they're going to go to in the second half and see what he can do against this Wildcat defense with that 2-time All-American Blake Rybar. And, boy, he is really the man out there.
He's a special player, and they've got guys all over the field on the defensive side of the ball. And Linfield's getting healthy. This is good for them to get a guy like Aaron Martinez back in their backfield, he adds a different level. You see the burst from him. You see the jump cuts. That guy can really, really fly. So getting him back, this Linfield team just got that much more dangerous. You mentioned it too, Charlie, during the first half, that Aaron Martinez had that extra week to get ready for this game on the bye as the Bearcats bobbled the opening kickoff here in the second half, but able to recover. Malik Green trying to make some moves on the second half kickoff. However, the Bearcats will be pinned deep to start the second half. Yeah, this Linfield team is going to be very, very good. Last year, Linfield and Whitworth played in the final game of the season. They were both undefeated going into that game. Linfield's got a loss in non-conference play, but both teams, if they run the table in league, they could be setting up for another conference title showdown on the last day of the season. Long way to go before that, and a long way to go in this game. Bearcats come out with Pres Juarez as the quarterback here to start the second half. Juarez did get the call on the last drive of the first half for the Bearcats. Did throw the interception under heavy pressure. But I imagine that eventually, Charlie, these two deeps that we have in front of us here, not going to be much use later on in this game. Linfield will probably have its starters on for some of this third quarter, maybe not all of it. Most of the fourth quarter, we probably shouldn't see anyone on the two deep on the field for this Linfield team. They travel a bunch of people. Juarez on the move. Ankle tackle in the backfield for Linfield. That is Alex Frazier, able to corral the Bearcats quarterback and drop him for a short loss. So 3rd and 11 upcoming for the Bearcats on this, the opening drive for either team here in the second half. Linfield leads 48-0. All Wildcats through that first 30 minutes. But again, we're starting over, we're starting fresh, brand new ball game. 3rd and 11 for the Bearcats, deep in their own territory. Single setback. The play fake, they set up the screen. This is Herrera in the flat, chased down, and arm tackled out of bounds.
Yeah, Caden BG Weatherby on the stop. He was the only guy there. They sent everybody. Everybody came on the blitz. It was a great, well-executed screenplay by Willamette. Almost got the first down, but they couldn't outrun BG Weatherby, and he'll stop for the 4th down, and Willamette will have to punt it away here. 13:24 to go in the third quarter.
It's a short one, or a long one, I should say. A short 2 for the Bearcats. Punt is away. Beswick Seidel's sidewinder kick checks up at about the 43-yard line. It's knocked around. They'll, I think, spot it back closer to where it was initially touched.
Yeah, Bearcats were hoping it hit the leg of one of the Bearcats. They fell on it, hoping they were going to get possession, but I think he just stepped out of the way as the ball took a pretty funny hop, and then but again, good field position for Linfield on their own 42-yard line as they'll start this drive. Looking to add to this lead.
Trots back onto the field, and he'll be joined in the backfield by a fresh new tailback. That is Jesse Sandretsky, lined up to the right of McNabb. Play fake to him. Drop it off here on the near side. Caleb Woodcock slips out of the first tackle, crosses midfield, gets inside the 45. First down yardage for Linfield on first down. Nice little play design for the Wildcats, as they had Woodcock on an island out here on the near side. Nice play fake to Sandretsky to set up the balance of that play. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Call it the 44 of Willamette. McNabb takes the carry, moving left to right, tripped up, little sniper fire underneath here on the near side. Sandretsky just trips over the turf. Penalty marker flies here on the near side, sitting right at the 40-yard line.
And it might have been a hold, I think, as Rodriguez was being held. I believe he was putting his hands up to the official, and I think he did see it. It was just kind of, they got tangled up.
Holding, offense number 65, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That'll back Willamette or Linfield rather, into their own territory. So wipe off the run for Sandretsky, one of his first carries of the season.
And And a pretty good block, but he needed to let go, and he didn't. And that's going to cost you because it really didn't affect the play. Should have let him go, but got up in that jersey and held on.
Sandretsky about the 5th tailback down the depth chart for this Linfield offense. So call it 1st and 16 from midfield for Linfield. Dropping back, McNabb fires deep down the sideline. Those two are tangled up Woodcock. They're able to fight through the hand fighting.
And I think that was pass interference pretty much the whole way from the 15-yard line as he was just holding on for dear life. I can't believe he should have just pulled him down and not let him get his hand on the ball. I was like, he's not going to get there, but it's going to be pass interference. But oh my goodness,
Caleb
what a
Woodcock
grab.
and Landon Waters were locked up. They were pulling on each other's jerseys the entire way inside the 20. And at the last possible moment, Woodcock reaches out, snares that deep pass. And that is a huge touchdown once again for Linfield. They continue.
On that replay, it looked like a one-handed catch, too, to top it off.
55-0 our score after the Bearcats 3 and out to start the second half. Linfield does what they've been doing all day. They score their 8th touchdown. They lead 55-0.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Where they left off in the first half. 48 first half points. A touchdown on their opening drive here of the second half. How about Luke McNabb showing off the arm? We know he can do it with his feet. He's run for another touchdown in this game already. That time connecting with Woodcock for his 2nd touchdown of the day. Both of them eclipsing 30 yards. And Linfield continues to dominate Willamette here as the shadows continue to stretch across the field. Khalil Cooper backs up all the way near the goal line. Will bring it out from there. Crosses the 20. He's out across the 25. Tripped up. A bit of a gunner there for Linfield. That is Dylan Iwanaga with the ankle tackle. As Khalil Hooper got downhill.
Yeah, Hooper had a lot of room there.
Steam.
If you see the replay here, he just got a hold of his ankle. If he could have skipped through that one, he had one man to beat.
He had good blocking in front of him.
But good field position.
Yeah, Hooper making the decision to come out from the goal line. The Bearcats will start this drive 1st and 10 of their own 29. Press Suarez back on the field as the quarterback for the Bearcats takes the low snap, drops back, slides to his right, chase down from behind. Another sack, this one credited to Caleb Sell. He had 3 sacks earlier in a game for this Linfield defense. And that Linfield front just continues to give the Bearcats dudes up front a lot of fits.
As I heard our broadcasters next door, every one of the front 4 has a sack today for Linfield.
Loss of 7 on the play. Backs up the Bearcats to their own 22. Inside give going nowhere. Snowed under. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more. Jarek Little brought down very quickly. One of the Bearcat linemen a little slow to get up.
Officials timeout for an injured player of the offense.
And Linfield bringing a lot of pressure there too, hitting the gaps, nothing doing for the Bearcats.
We'll step away for just a moment on the Bearcat Network. shaken up on the play for the Bearcats. He's helped off the field. So 3rd and 18 for the Bearcats. They did, in fact, lose a yard on that last play. Now Juarez hit as he throws, lets it go. Romero goes up for it, can't bring it down. And it's 4th and 18 now for the Bearcats. And kind of rinse and repeat for the Bearcats and Wildcats so far in the second half. Already punt number 2 here in the 3rd quarter.
Almost a one-handed grab there, but just a little bit over the top again. 2 men deep for the Wildcats on this punt attempt.
It's the 7th punt of the game for Beswick-Seidel. It's fielded at the 50. Cut down. 11 on 11. My goodness. Reed Gray just blasted by Hogan Smith.
And Gray, really good field position there as he caught the ball at midfield.
Yeah, he caught it in stride too.
He did. He was on his way.
On the fly. So a great tackle in the open field here on the near side, near the boundary by Hogan Smith. Still, though, a short field for Linfield to operate. And they will bring quarterback Luke McNabb back to the field. Standing next to him, another new tailback on the field. Megan Sandreski back out there, excuse me. No room to run. He's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A host of Bearcats get to him before he has an opportunity to go anywhere at all. Loss of a yard and a half on the play.
And Bearcats not fooled at all on the misdirection as he cuts back right into a wall of red.
Several guys there to make the tackle. 2nd and a short 12 for Linfield. Just shy of the 41-yard line. McNabb and Sandreski in the backfield. 2 wides to the left, 1 to the right. Make it 2 to the right. Bearcats show blitz, they bring it. McNabb, pressure coming, brought down. Gride Raj able to chase him down and drops McNabb for another loss. So back-to-back negative plays for Linfield. And the Bearcats defense continues to make plays in advantageous spots throughout this contest. I know the scoreboard tells you otherwise, but the Bearcats defense, they've never quit. They have continued to fight and scrap for this entire contest. 3rd and 13. McNabb fakes the handoff to Sandreski. Setter steps to his right. Outside the numbers, floats a pass down the sideline into the end zone. Safety comes over and knocks it away. Great coverage downfield from the Bearcats. That was intended for Kai Lokkonen. Well, the Bearcats defense stiffens again.
A good break up there by Landon Waters to force a 4th down, and that will bring out Tabor to punt.
So after the short field for Linfield, again, they're unable to move the ball at all against the Bearcats defense.
And there might have been a couple of changes on the line, but other than that, they still had their starters out there.
Kicking team number 14, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Delay a game. I think that was intentional. I think they wanted to back up 5 yards and give Tabor a little room to try and hit that corner. They didn't really seem like they were even going to snap the ball on that.
One option the team has is to decline the penalty and not take the yardage, because it does in fact give Linfield a little bit more room to work with. High end over end kick. Getting out of the way was Dom Corrado. Is that punt a little too deep? Linfield unable to do anything with it. Bearcats will bring it out to their own 20, and it's from there they'll start the next drive.
And good coverage again as Brady Crenshaw was right there. The ball hit right on the goal line. If he could have knocked it back or just caught it, that would have been right there on the 1-yard line, but that kicks into the end zone. So that 5 yards doesn't really help them. So they'll give the ball back to the Bearcats on the 20. 8:40 to go, 55-0.
Pres Juarez back on the field as the quarterback. Bearcats in tight. They nearly mishandled the ball. Now they do fumble. Ball's on the turf. Looks like Linfield may have recovered, and they did.
Early Linfield is a fumble. Recovered by Linfield. It's 1st and 10.
Wyatt Zellner was the one, I think, who came away with it. He jumped up and carried the ball out, and that play was just going nowhere from the start.
Yeah, I was going to say it was doomed from the start.
Play, and I think Juarez went to hand the ball off, and there was no one there to take it, and then everything went wrong from there.
Yeah, that was due to the fact that he had mishandled the snap. It was kind of bobbling around in his hands. He tried to hand it off to Hooper, and they just weren't quite able to connect. The ball was just never secure at any point on that play for the Bearcats. So now the Linfield operating with a very short field. 1st and 10 from the Bearcat 13-yard line. McNabb from the shotgun. Hand up. Zandreski scampers into the end zone as he cuts back toward the middle of the field. And Linfield continues its mastery here this afternoon. 61-0 now.
A beautiful day, but it's pouring out there now as the Wildcats continue. We said they're not going to take their foot off the gas. 61-0 here with 8:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. They put up 70 on the Bearcats last year, so you know they're going to keep working that offense.
Touchdown number 9 for Linfield. And they now own a 62-0 lead here on the Bearcat Network. Number 5 for the Bearcats results in a very quick 6 points for Linfield. They tack on the extra point, and 62-0 now our score.
Still, it doesn't look like too many personnel changes on either side of the football. I'm sure once we get in the 4th quarter, we'll definitely see Linfield go. And, you know, they brought those guys down here. They brought everybody here. They're probably going to let them get on the field for a little bit at least and give them some game experience. And, you know, you don't want to get anyone injured in a foolish play, especially one of your quarterbacks or running backs or big key players. So it'll be interesting to see when they start making those adjustments.
In the meantime, Andrew Odell back on the field for kickoff duties. Booms one down the field. Khalil Hooper backs up again to the goal line near the far side boundary. Does to follow the lead blocker in front of him. Moving east and west and does cross the 10-yard line. He's hauled down at about the 12. So Bearcats taking over deep in their own territory.
Good pursuit there by the Wildcats. Logan Sloman's going to be the one that gets the stop. And not much Cooper could really do. He had to bring it out. He was right on the 1-yard line, didn't call for a fair catch. I think that's what they're looking for. They want to try and spring him, maybe get a big play on the kickoff, but they'll start deep in their own territory at the 11-yard line.
So Juarez back. The setbacks to either side. Takes the snap, hands off. Fighting his way forward is Gabe Herrera. Not a lot of room to operate in there in the trenches. Does go forward for a yard, maybe 2.
Runs right in the arms of Johnny Miller, the linebacker who is coming up shooting the gap.
A guy we do not see on the field for Linfield is Blake Rybar. In fact, there are a lot of backup players along that front 4 for the Wildcats as well, so it's very likely that Linfield will start rotating down the depth chart as this game has gotten well out of hand here in Salem as the evening draws on. Little on the carry, picks up a couple.
And it does look like on this defensive side of the ball that Linfield has swapped out a lot of players, some new front 4. As you said, all 4 of those interior linemen have a sack today for Linfield as they had a lot of pressure on the Bearcat quarterbacks. And Now the Bearcats running the play clock down. They're not in any hurry. They started off in kind of a hurry-up, fast-paced offense. They are taking their time here in the third quarter.
Rayshawn Barrio split out here on the near side. Juarez pressured, slides left, looks downfield, stays behind the line of scrimmage, fires toward the sideline. Has a couple of receivers in the area, but neither of them able to get a mid on the ball. And another 3 and out for the Bearcats. It's just been a largely inefficient day for this Bearcat offense. They just have not been able to get going. A couple chunk plays here and there on the ground, but the passing game has been very, very difficult. We talk a lot about that front four, Charlie, for this Linfield team, but my goodness, they do such a great job in coverage downfield. There just have not been any opportunities to strike through the air for Willamette so far in this game.
And a whistle on the field. We'll see what the
result of the play is an incomplete pass. Please reset the game clock to 6:34. 6:54. Correction, 6:54. Thank you.
So a little tack on another 20 seconds or so here.
Punt number 8 upcoming for Beswick Seidel. Averaged about 35 yards per punt. Had one blocked and returned for a touchdown early in this game. Good snap. Ball is away. Fielded right at midfield. Makes the first man miss. Flag flies in from behind. I believe that's Luke Amble on the return.
I think we'll have a block in the back, as we usually see either a hold or a block and back on the return team. I don't think it'll be on the Bearcats. We saw holding on the kicking team in the first half,
play.
which is very
Never
rare.
happens.
So.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 23, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's 1st and 10.
Well, that checks out more with what usually happens when there's a marker on a kick return. It is on the return team 99% of the time, but we did see it that one time in the first half, whistled against Linfield.
And a good tackle there by John Henry Hawkins, as we saw the replay. We could wrap him up, bring him down, and really the only thing that's hurt Linfield really today is the penalties, kind of some foolish penalties.
So why bother return for Luke Amble? Linfield now takes over at their own 40. McNabb stays on the field, fires a pass across the middle. It's Caleb Woodcock again. Huge chunk play. They will mark him down at the 39-yard line. So a gain of 21 into Bearcats territory right out of the chute. And Linfield is continuing to put pressure on the Bearcat defense. McNabb just rifled that pass. And how about the day that Caleb Woodcock is putting together? He is throwing up some monster numbers. Came in with 7 catches for 71 on the season. He's well beyond that 71-yard mark. On first down, handoff, Sandretsky hesitates for a moment. Big burst of speed inside the 25 before he's taken out of the 24. So a gain of an even 15 on first down for Sandretsky. Now the Bearcats defense really listing. They've given up a couple of chunk plays here, back to back, and Linfield once again in business deep in Willamette territory.
Yeah, breaks one tackle and then makes it all the way to the sticks.
It's a great hesitation move, just waited for the play to develop in front of him. And once it did, hit the gas, open in the flat. That is Chase McCulloch. Open along the sideline, gain of 9. Linfield showing no signs of slowing down despite that 62-0 lead.
And a little hurry-up offense as well, so they're not taking any time off the clock here. They're just keeping push, push, push.
Championship mentality. That's what Linfield's had for a very, very, very long time with this program. 2nd and 1. McNabb under center, turns hands off at Sandretsky. First down yardage and more. He's inside the 10. He's chased down and dragged down from behind. Still though, 1st and goal now for Linfield, just inside the 10-yard line. 4:45 to play here in the third quarter. So the ball sitting right at the 10-yard line. Moves the football right on it, so this is 1st and goal. Pistol formation now. McNabb with Sandretsky behind him. 2 wides here on the near side. 1 at the top of the formation. Delayed handoff. Sandretsky makes the first man miss. Fights his way toward the 5. And he's taken down right there after a gain of 5 yards. Actually, they'll mark him just shy of that at the 6. So gain of 4 for Sandretsky on 1st and goal for Linfield.
Yeah, Raj will bring him down, but not after he breaks a couple of tackles and drags a couple of guys inside the 10-yard line. Now down 6 yards away from another touchdown. And as you said, they are just taking a little time now to get the play in, letting the clock run a little bit, but they are not holding back. They still have a lot of starters on the field, and they're still pushing it, trying to get more points on the board.
McNabb has the play signaled in from the sideline. Now Sandretsky immediately to his left. Motioning left, now right. Jake Wallace, inside give. Sandretsky inside the 5 this time. Over the far side hash, taken down at about the 2. It's a 3rd and goal now for Linfield.
Hogan Smith comes up and makes the stop, finishing him off.
That's tackle number 7 on the day for Hogan Smith. He's been flying around, trying to keep this defense juiced up just enough. Playing with pride at this point, this Bearcats defense. Would love to see them get a stop here near the goal line on 3rd down. McNabb floats the pass, timing pattern, end zone, out of reach. And the Bearcats do exactly that. They force a 4th down. And Linfield will bring the offense off the field and settle for 3 with 3 minutes left in the 3rd.
And that was the question I had, is are they going to leave that offense out there, 4-down territory, try and punch it in, or are they going to give Dalziel a chance to get 3 more points, adding to his point total today? He's really racking them up on the extra points.
This is the last game on the Northwest Conference slate today. Everyone else in the clubhouse. All eyes on this one. Pacific knocked off Puget Sound. Whitworth took care of Pacific Lutheran, and Lewis and Clark held off the late rally from George Fox. And with that field goal, Linfield now up 65-0. We'll be right back. Just about 3 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Linfield showing what they're made of so far on the season. Just 1 loss for them. It was a tough game on the road. 2 nationally ranked teams, Wisconsin, Oshkosh, in a very close game back in the Midwest, able to hold on tooth and nail against this very talented, deep, physical Linfield team. They did get the win. So Linfield comes in today 2-1. As the non-conference portion of the season is now in the rearview mirror. Cooper lets that one bounce at the goal line, and brought back out to the 25.
And they're putting it right on the goal line, so Hooper has to make a quick decision what he wants to do there. I think it was a long high kick, so he didn't have a lot of time to catch the ball and see where he was going to go before the coverage was on top of him. So he sidesteps the ball, lets it go into the end zone, and they'll start on the 25-yard line. And we'll see if this Bearcat offense can get things going here with 2:56 to go in the 3rd. Juarez will come out with Little in the backfield.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what the Bearcats have impressed Juarez. He just has not had much time to throw. He's just 1 for 4. He does have an interception. 1 completion, good for 9 yards. Pistol formation, turns hands off Jarek Little. Had a hole for a moment, but it closed quickly. And Little with maybe a yard on the play. It's been really tough going for Jarek Little. He has not been able to unhitch the wagon at all. That is 11 carries for 12 yards for Jarek Little on the day. He's gotten the call more often than Gabe Herrera so far in this game, but not much to show for it, averaging just over a yard per carry. Jarek Little so far in this game. Now, he's a guy who's got a lot of speed. He's a really dynamic back, but man, Linfield has just bottled him up and throttled him up throughout today's game. 2nd and 9 for the Bearcats from their own 26. They set up the screen here on the near side. They bubble in Romero. And Elijah Romero just snowed under. Loss of 4 yards on that play. My goodness. How about Linfield snuffing out that play? Looked well designed for a moment. They want to get Elijah Romero going. He hasn't done a whole lot here this afternoon. So they try to bubble him out here on the near side, and instead he's dropped for a 4-yard loss. Linfield defense is continuing to make play after play. Juarez now, 3rd and long. Jarek Little to his left. All the receivers stacked here on the near side. Juarez steps up, tucks it and goes, and he is just crushed. 3-4 defenders converge on him. Does not get back to the original line of scrimmage, and on 4th and long, the Bearcats will be forced to send Beswick Seidel back to the field for punt number 9.
Just running into the arms of Chase Sarkisian. And again, Bearcats behind the sticks, and even with the substitutions, the Wildcat defense still holding strong.
Good looking kick from Beswick Seidel. Sends Reed Gray all the way back to the 30-yard line. Check that. That is Kyle Lockenden on the return. Able to get some of it back, but that was a beautiful punt from Beswick Seidel.
Under a minute here to go in the 3rd quarter, 44 seconds. And again, the Wildcats sticking with a 4-3 defense here in the last couple of series, and just content with those, letting that front 4 do the work and let the linebackers clean things up.
Well, we are going to see a new quarterback, not named Blake Eaton or Luke McNabb. This is Deacon Edgar stepping onto the field as the quarterback now for Linfield. That pass broken up. Good looking play from Rayshawn Barrios.
Yeah, good coverage there. Good job not to get interference. Stepped in right at the last second, just put his hand in, poked the ball away. Opportunity here for the Bearcats to get another stop, maybe get some decent field position. But again, Tabers really hammers the ball on the punts, and it doesn't give you any chance to return it.
2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. Their own 41-yard line. Another pass. One out into the flat. Chase McCulloch for the short gain on 2nd down.
And Linfield had a lot of success just throwing into the flat to their running backs, as they seem to have a little bit of time. Bearcats haven't covered that very well. The running backs coming out of the backfield, they had that touchdown early in the first half.
10 seconds to go. Will Linfield run a play? Looks like they want to. We'll see if they will get one off before the quarter ends. They will. Rolling to his right, dubbing it off underneath. Has a man, a nice little drag route. And that might be just enough to move the sticks. And I believe that it will. It's in Bearcat territory. And it will take us to the quarter break.
The result of the play is 4th down. That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Well, check that. They will spot him just shy of the line to gain.
Correction, the result of the play is 1st down.
Well, see, just when the referee says one thing that we thought we had seen, he corrects himself. So it will be 1st down for the Wildcats in Bearcat territory. 4th quarter action coming up in just a few moments. For Linfield, they did pick up the 1st down on the final play of the 3rd quarter. So before the quarter gets underway, ball just over midfield, and a fresh set of downs for the Wildcats and Deacon Edgar to mess around with. Pitch to Sandreski in the open field. It is Salah Hill who makes the play.
And new running back for the Wildcats. That's coming off now, Matt Surback, 29 versus 23. Hard to pick up it. Yeah, so they're starting to mix it up a little bit on us here.
Yeah, carry number 10 on the season for Spurbeck. So we've seen a little bit of everything from the backfield of Linfield. We've seen a lot of Aaron Martinez and Jackson Pfeiffer today. A couple of plays where Carson Mullins had his number called. Spurbeck now gets his turn in the backfield. Gain of 6 on first down. And Edgar takes the snap, hands it off to Spurbeck, who shakes free, but is tripped up from behind. Spectacular open field tackle. Judah Aliifua in pursuit, not giving up on the play. After Spurbeck makes the first man miss.
Yeah, John Williamson had him wrapped up, and he spins away, spins out of it. Good job by Judah to stay there and not let him get away.
Linfield actually loses a yard on the play, so 3rd and 6 upcoming now for the Wildcats from the Bearcats 45. Likely passing down here for Deacon Edgar. We'll see what kind of arm he's got. Thinks about it. Now he takes out. Middle of the field is open. Down to the 20. Works his way back outside, and he will scoop into the end zone for another Linfield touchdown.
And the Bearcats brought a lot of pressure, about 5 guys rushing, but the pocket didn't collapse. It opened up, and he just had to escape and just kept going. Made a couple guys miss. Flag at the end of the play. It's probably going to be unsportsmanlike as they are excessively celebrating. We'll see if that's the call or if there's some unsportsmanlike on the other side as the tempers. And
well, Deacon Edgar wanted to dial something up down the sideline. He pump faked, and then he dialed up his own number. And that was the wise call, as he just takes off untouched. 46-yard touchdown scampered for the sophomore quarterback from Medford.
And it might have been on the Bearcats, because I think the official was over talking to the Linfield coaches to see what they want to do, if they want to assess it here or on the kickoff.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Linfield number 6 is first of the game. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So it was unsportsmanlike conduct. It was on Linfield.
Thought for a moment Solihill might fly in from that right side and block that PAT. Instead, it's another kick sailing through the uprights, and Linfield leads 72-0. We'll be right back. Hey, when you clear your throat, go ahead and hit the mute button.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Well, Bearcat fans, avert your eyes from that score anyway. It has been a tough, tough day for the faithful in Cardinal here at McCulloch Stadium. Linfield showing every bit that they are a contender this year for a deep postseason run. We're quite sure what to make of this Linfield team. They lost a lot of pretty key pieces from last year's team, but a lot came back as well. They lost starting running back and 3-year starter Connor McNabb, the older brother of quarterback Luke McNabb. Of course, back for this Linfield team too, 3-year starting quarterback Blake Eaton. Weapons on the perimeter. Dudes that can play with a lot of skill and a lot of talent at every level of the defense. This Linfield team is for real, no question about it. They have showed it off here this afternoon as the evening is wearing on. Nice return for Khalil Hooper as he works his way out near the 40 before he's cut down. I think they'll mark him down at about the 37-yard line. So good looking return and some of the best field position that the Bearcats have opened up a drive with here all afternoon.
And again, Chase Sarkisian making it a stop after the nice move to get it out close to the 40-yard line. Bearcats in pretty good field position here. We'll see if they can kickstart this offense much like they did against Simpson in the fourth quarter. We'll see if they can come alive and finish strong, try and get something on the board.
Well, the Bearcats going to bring Alex Rivera back onto the field. Pres Suarez playing several drives for the Bearcats, but he had a tough time of it as well. So Alex Rivera, the starting quarterback for the Bearcats, returns to the field. This is his first action here in the second half. Turns hands off. Short gain over the right side. That is starting tailback Gabe Herrera on the carry. Herrera's been effective today. That's 9 carries for 43 yards for him. But the Bearcats have found themselves in few running downs. Looking ahead for Willamette. It's pretty tough. The next couple of games are on the road. First at Whitworth, next Saturday in Spokane. They're on the road the following weekend as well at Pacific Lutheran. Rivera calls his own number on the design run play. Quarterback option there as he keeps it, tucks it, lowers his head, lowers his shoulder, spills forward for a gain of 3.
And when the Bearcats return home, it'll be against George Fox. This time in a NWC conference game. They played them in the second game of the season in a non-conference matchup, as they'll do that every once in a while. They'll play one of these NWC teams twice. Once has a conference game, once not. And a tough first half pretty much let that game get away from them. They played really well in the second half, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in that next meeting.
On third down, Rivera dumps it off in the flat. Nice one-handed catch reeled in by Thomas Ordonez. Talented tight end who doesn't see the field a lot. That's just his second catch on the season for Ordonez. But he's at first down yardage with that one. And it keeps the drive alive for the Bearcats. Bearcats would love to just get on the scoreboard this afternoon. Sun continues to settle into the western sky, illuminating some trees across the way beyond the tennis courts now, but you can now see the lights illuminating the field here at McCulloch Stadium. This is Rivera across midfield. He fakes the handoff.
Real nice fake there, and helped him get a couple extra yards out of it. And
a lot of defensive personnel rotating onto the field here for Linfield. After the large play, after the large run from Rivera, nets 7 yards into Wildcats territory. So second and a short 3 for the Bearcats at the Linfield 46-yard line. 11 minutes left in this game. It's been Linfield pretty much from the jump. Rivera awaits the shotgun snap with 2 wideouts here on the near side. Drops back, looks that way, down the middle of the field. Ball is on the field. I believe Linfield may have recovered. Guys still fighting for it all over the place.
Battling on, there's an injury on the play as well, as the Willamette trainers come sprinting on the field to take care of that player as the referees sort out what actually happened. We see the replay here.
We haven't gotten an indication.
Somebody got a hand on it. We'll see if we can see what we can see.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the offense. It's third down. Official timeout for an injured player of the offense.
Well, as that Bearcats player is tended to down on the field, we'll take a short break, but come right back, folks. We've still got 11 minutes of football left to bring you. Bum for Thomas Ordonez. He made a really nice catch on the sideline to keep this drive alive a few moments ago for the Bearcats. He was shaken up on the play, but was able to walk off the field under his own power. That's a good sign. Third and long, though, for the Bearcats, who've been pushed back into their own territory, a couple of yards shy now of midfield. Rivera across the middle behind the intended receiver. He is taken down as he lets that pass fly. And on 4th and 9, looks like the Bearcats will send Beswick Seidel back to the field for punt number 10.
And the Wildcats sitting in that 4-3, just letting those 4 front guys do their job. They just push the pocket in.
Yep.
Not a lot of pressure, but not much time for Rivera either, as he had to get away, trying to connect across the middle, just could not put it in the hands of his receiver.
So Beswick-Seidel punting from the Bearcats 48. A couple of return men both standing astride the 20-yard line at the other end of the field. Here on the near side, this is Kyle Lockinen. Works his way down the left side.
That'll be a flag.
Out of bounds.
Sure. I can't believe they're not going to throw a flag on that one, as he was just flung into the Willamette bench. I would say I didn't see anything.
12-yard return for Sockinen. And Linfield likely going to stay with Deacon Edgar unless they want to rotate a fourth quarterback onto the field, which they may well do. It looks like Edgar might have a ball cap on over on that far sideline. So we might see our fourth quarterback of the day for the Wildcats, and in fact we will.
Like
this is Matt Doherty. He turns, hands off. Carson Mullins on the carry. Nowhere to go at all. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. We'll see what kind of forward progress they give him.
Well, they're going to drop back 3 yards to the 29-yard line.
So wasn't quite sure if they were going to give him forward progress or not, but they will, in fact, take him back for a 3-yard loss.
And just slammed down by Siatu.
Doherty's huge, 6'6", 230 pounds, from Mountain View, California. He is a big dude. Carson Mullins remains on the field, takes the delayed handoff. He's met immediately, crashing down from the near end here. I think that was Braden Ovitz making the play. And it was. So Braden Ovitz makes a nice little play as he slides down the line of scrimmage and wraps up. Carson Mullins for a short gain. 3rd and a short 12. Or a long 11 here for Linfield. Doherty takes the snap, 3-step drop, fires across the middle. It's intercepted. Taken at the 40-yard line. Still weaving through traffic. Inside the 25, inside the 20. Chris Camillo with the interception for the Bearcats.
Yeah, good job by the Bearcats. 3-man front. Looked like they were going to bring some pressure, but they dropped right into it, and Camillo dropped right in the line of the pass and had a nice little return.
Yeah, Matt Doherty never saw Camillo, who was just sitting there in the middle of the field. He had just sat down right there at that spot, just perfectly set up. Receiver coming across the formation. Camillo is in his blind spot, and now the Bearcats are in the red zone with 8:53 to play. Alex Rivera back on the field. The running back now, Joel Sanchez, stands to the left of Rivera. Bad snap. Rivera goes to get it. Tries to scoop it up. Eludes some pressure. White tries to get back to the line of scrimmage and almost does so. But that play busted from the start after Rivera mishandled. That was a poor snap to Rivera's credit. He did everything he could with it, but he lost it not once, not twice, but 3 different times as you see the replay.
And I think he might have been down when he picked it up. Yeah. His knee was down, but they didn't see it. They let him go and resolved 2-yard loss, maybe just over a yard loss. But yeah, it looked like it was going to bounce right back up into his hands and he might be able to get something out of it, but just took too much time to recover, and the Wildcats were all over him.
Herrera back on the field for 2nd and 11. 2 wides here to the near side. Herrera shifts right to left. Rivera takes the snap. Looking left, fires toward the end zone, has a man in the end zone, but it's in and out of the hands of Trajan Clark. Oh, that was a well-thrown ball by Alex Rivera. One of the best passes he's thrown all day. Might have been the defender reaching into the last moment. Sean Emberlin was in coverage. Make it Dylan Iwanaga in coverage.
Yeah, as you see on the replay here, just knocked it away at the last second, but a great spot by Rivera.
Make it Aiden Fink getting a hand in at the last second. And now 3rd and long for the Bearcats. After the interception set them up in the Linfield red zone. Rivera, 3 wides here to the near side. Drops back, looks right. Drag route across the formation. This is Herrera coming back, fighting his way toward the 10-yard line, but he stopped well short of the line to gain. It will mark him down to the 13, so 4th and 3 upcoming after the gain of 8 for Willamette. It looks like the offense will likely stay on the field. Time still ticking, 7:40 to play now here at McCulloch Stadium. Sun is going down. Tops of the trees still barely illuminated.
You'd be looking at about a 30-yard field goal, but I think they want to definitely try and get 6 out of this. This is as close as they've been to the end zone in a while.
4th and a long 3 for the Bearcats. Trips to the left side. Rivera takes the snap, drops back, looking right, fires toward the end zone, but that pass was well out of reach of the grasp of Changing Clark. The pass sailed out of bounds, did not have much of a chance, and the Bearcats are turned away. They will turn it over on downs. Back to the field comes the Linfield offense.
Yeah, looking at the replay, it looks like Clark had a step on the defensive back. He definitely broke contact there, but the ball just too far out of his reach.
Yep.
And again, Bearcats come up empty. Linfield will start probably one of their worst field positions here, at least at the second half, inside the 15-yard line at the 13. And it looks like another new quarterback.
This is the 5th quarterback now on the day. This is Carter Studer in the game. 6'3" freshman from Elmo, Washington. Carson Mullins across the 35. Enormous chunk play for Linfield.
Keeler on for the Bearcats to make the stop, tripped him up a little bit, and then a couple more guys came up to finish him off, but a big gainer as they're out to the 36-yard line. 6:41 to go here in the ball game. Big lead for Linfield.
491 yards of total offense now for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 for them at their own 36. This is Mullins again around the right end. Finally angled out of bounds as he crosses the 40. They'll mark him out. And just shy of the 41, the nose of the ball touching the 41-yard line. So we'll call it a gain of 5.
Barrios out there to push him out of bounds. Clock will continue to run, however, as we're still with 6:04 to go.
This Linfield team so powerful, so dominant, year in, year out. You actually have to go all the way back to 2008, Charlie, to find a Linfield team that has lost as many as 3 games in a single season. Since that time, they are 139-21 overall. Listen to this, 119-9 in the regular season, and they are 90-3. 90-3 in the Northwest Conference. And after tonight, they will be 91-3. They've won 12 conference titles, 11 of them outright. Again, it's been a long stretch of dominance for this Linfield program, dating back decades and decades. But in the last 17, 18 years, boy, they have really been head and shoulders above the rest of our league.
And that's the story today, is they've dominated really from that second possession.
Mullins with another hole as he fights his way toward first down yardage yet again as we hit the 5-minute mark here in the game.
Dragged down by Keeler once again as he's getting a couple stops here late. And a whole lot of substitutions for Linfield as they're going to come and let Tabor punt it away.
So we've talked about this a couple of times on the broadcast today too, Charlie. 67 consecutive winning seasons. I want to kind of put that in perspective if I could. If you size that up against some of the dominant D1 programs over time, we're talking about programs like Notre Dame, Florida State, Nebraska, Alabama, others, Oklahoma as well gets mixed in there. Guess what? The longest stretch of Notre Dame football where they had at least a winning season, 42 years. 42, and that particular stretch, that wasn't recent. That ended in 1932, so that had started back in the 19th century. Right? That's wild stuff. Florida State's longest stretch of 41 consecutive winning seasons ended in 2017, so that's a much more recent stretch of program excellence. 67 consecutive years That is just the wildest number.
And it is amazing, but it just goes to show that winning breeds winning. Everybody, you get the top players want to come to a winning program. They want to continue that tradition, which is also an important part of it. You don't want to be the ones that let down the alumni, so you want to make sure you're, putting that product on the field that is going to continue and sustain that dominance that you've enjoyed.
And there have been a lot of programs in the Northwest Conference that have been very, very competitive with Linfield over those 67 years. You go back to that stretch. Pacific Lutheran, in fact, back when Frosty Westering, legendary coach Frosty Westering at Pacific Lutheran, they had 36 consecutive winning seasons. That streak ended in 2004. Pacific Lutheran had a stretch of 20 years where they played in 8 national championship games, winning 4 of them. That is just wild stuff in and of itself. Whitworth has been a traditionally very strong program, and heck, Willamette football has a very proud tradition. This program still is at .550 winning percentage on its entire history, dating back into the early 1900s. So Willamette football has a lot of proud tradition of its own. But recently it has been Linfield, head and shoulders above the conference. Now, they did lose in that final regular season game to Whitworth a season ago, and it was Whitworth that went on to the Division III postseason from that point. Linfield not getting an at-large berth. But I tell you, if Linfield and Whitworth run the table yet again this year in our league, they will set up for another series finale, the winner of which will be Northwest Conference champion. Jarek Little on the carry. 3 minutes left now in the game.
Little with a couple nice carries here on this final possession. They move the sticks, they'll get a first down, they'll keep things going. Clock ticking away here, 2:53. So maybe they'll go into that 2-minute drill and Rivera can lead another last-second drive. They'd really love to get on the scoreboard.
Handoff, Little around the left side. Run down from behind, but dragging defenders with him after a nice gain of about 7. I will say this too, Charlie, having a program like Linfield in your league, it's credibility. It means it's a lot more awareness, it's a lot more eyeballs on our league because people want to know more about the Northwest Conference thanks to having a program like Linfield right here in our own backyard. It's a big deal to have a program as special and as tradition-rich as this one. As look at this, Jarek Little finds the edge, knocked out of bounds near midfield. Another first down here for the Wildcats.
Now Little looks like he'll take a break after some really nice runs, getting the edge.
Result of the play is a first down. This is the 2-minute timeout.
So the 2-minute timeout, don't call it a 2-minute warning in college. And Bearcats moving the ball, driving, approaching midfield here. Great job by Little. We'll see if after the break he'll go back in or if they'll mix it up and go back to Herrera. He's done a real nice job. Almost got it down the sideline, but good pursuit by the Wildcats secondary to bring him down, push him out of bounds, but not before we reached the first down marker, give the Bearcats another set of downs, and this is probably one of their best drives of the day. Unfortunately, it's coming here with 2 minutes to go in the game.
Just one undefeated team remains in the Northwest Conference. That is Whitworth. That is who the Bearcats will face next Saturday afternoon in Spokane. 4-0 Whitworth against what will then be a 2-2 Willamette team. Willamette 2-1 coming out of the non-conference slate, defeating Laverne, dropping the non-conference game at George Fox before defeating Simpson last week to close out the non-conference docket.
And new running back again in for the Bearcats. That's number 27, Joel Sanchez, comes on. Gain of 2 on the play.
Juarez turns, hands off. Across midfield goes Sanchez.
Man, Bearcats just content to let the clock run. 1:23 to go here in this game. They want to put it in the end zone, but at the same time, kind of want to get this thing over with, get ready to prepare for next week. As you said, is going to be another handful week for the Bearcats.
Next 2 games on the road. After that Whitworth game, they are up in Parkland to take on the Lutes, the aforementioned Pacific Lutheran program. Juarez Hands it off to Sanchez. Tries to squirt free around the right end. But Linfield has his number. He's hauled down after a short gain.
Derringer on the stop along with a couple other teammates and getting to him just before he gets across that first down marker. 4th and short. Bearcats obviously just going to go for it here. 34 seconds to go. And I would say let's just air it out, see what happens. Or you try and get the first down, maybe get another play. But
Juarez hands it off. I don't think Sanchez quite got there. They're going to mark him short. And one more knee from Linfield will end this game. Well, Linfield is healthy, and that should scare the dickens out of the rest of the Northwest Conference.
Rolling down the field as the runner was short of the line of the game. It's 1st and 10, Linfield.
They've got 2 very good quarterbacks. They've got a number of weapons on the offensive side of the ball that they can turn to. Get the ball into the hands of their skill position players. We saw their defense tonight, so stout. Bearcats barely getting to 100 yards of total offense in this game. They are now up to 120 yards thanks to this last drive of the game that pushed them over 100 yards. They will settle for 120 yards of total offense.
And it's like they were joking with the NFL coaches there, all saying the same thing last week. Well, we were good in all 3 phases: offense, defense, special teams, and that's pretty much what Linfield had today. All phases of the game were clicking on all cylinders this afternoon and into this evening.
10 touchdowns, 1 field goal for Linfield. And those were all the points thrown up on this board. 72-0 is your final score. Tough day for Willamette. They will be on the road.
That is the end of the game.
Next Saturday to take on Whitworth. With the loss, the Bearcats record drops to 2-2. Linfield improves to 3-1, and they are 1-0, and now halfway to winning record number 68 in a row in McMinnville. Folks, we're going to step away for 30 seconds. We'll come right back, put a very short bow on this game. Stay with us for a very brief Willamette football postgame show. They are clearly a legit national title contender. They put it all together here this afternoon for Willamette. Still very much a work in progress under first-year head coach Eric Williams. Not a lot of positives in this game for the Bearcats, but what can you say? You run into a buzzsaw, and sometimes it beats like that.
Yeah, you didn't want to say it, but you knew coming in this could happen again as Linfield reloaded. You said they lost a lot of guys. They had 18 all-conference selections a year ago.
Wow.
So even if you lose a lot, you're going to have a lot coming back, and a lot of talent on this team. And again, I kind of joke about it, but every aspect of the game, offense, defense, special teams, they've got an outstanding punter, which can really affect a game, especially at the Division III level. If you have a real strong kicker, he kicks it far, he kicks it high, and gives his guys a chance to get down there and cover. Then you got, Blake Rybar, who's just an outstanding linebacker, probably one of the best, if not the best in the country.
Yep.
He's right up there, in on every play, and it's like, well, how did he get in on that play? He was on the other side of the field. He just, like you said, nose for the ball, gets in on everything, and that's why he's, leading them in tackles and causing all sorts of problems for everybody.
Well, tough road for the Bearcats going forward as well. They are on the road for their next 2 contests. They're in Spokane to take on Whitworth next week. They will follow that up 2 weeks from now in Parkland against Pacific Lutheran before returning home in 3 weeks. And that's when we will be back in the booth right here, this very spot where the 2 of us stand right now. It's going to be a 3-week stretch before we see you again on the broadcast. Until then, enjoy yourselves, folks. Autumn is on its way, even if summer is still barely hanging on. And we are going to go take a look at this beautiful sunset sky. Good night, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Enjoy these last few highlights from today's game right here on the Bearcat Network. Good night.